March 26th, so he's been riding a lot of pine the last few weeks, but he gets back into the lineup today.
All right, and the Shiloh Generals look like this defensively. Russell Brown's at first base. David Platt is the second baseman. Gabe Kolodny, I guess, is the shortstop. Mark Lordo at third base. William Geely in left field. Eric Mathis, center fielder. And Chris Bader, any relation to Garth, I wonder, out in right field. Chris Coker behind the plate, and Brian Bissell, a hard-throwing right-hander on the mound for the Generals.
And the Newton Rams, if they can win this affair, they will go to 7-1 in 8 Quad A South action. A couple of Ram games coming up later on this week. If you'd like to catch this Newton Ram team at Riverside Park, they'll be playing home games on back-to-back days. On Friday, it's the Winder Barrow Bulldogs at Riverside Park. 5 o'clock starting time. We'll have it live on WGFS. And then Saturday, Mount St. Joseph, a school from Minnesota that's making a little spring break trip southward, and they will come to the friendly confines at noon on Saturday. We'll be bringing you that game from Newton High School, and of course that will also live on WGFS. Our color man, Bill Dolan, will be taking a temporary leave of absence for those 2 games, but Bill, will see you back against the Rockdale Bulldogs on Monday.
That's right, that's the Bulldogs with 1 G, as opposed to the Winder Barrow with 2 Gs. I'll be back Monday and looking forward to hopefully a victory against Rockdale, and meanwhile I'm sure you'll hold down the fort well and bring us a couple of wins over the weekend.
We're going to give it our best shot, and of course, the Rams right now have the inside track, Bill, if they can, especially if they can beat Parkview at the number 1 seed once the region tournament starts April 25th at Clark Central. They take the top 3 teams from 8 Quad A North and 8 Quad A South. The Rams competing in the South side could be the first seed.
And that's always a big advantage because you're going to play the 3rd seed from the other side, and like Coach was saying on the bus, if you can go 2-0 to start off the tournament, you almost beg somebody to try to beat you. It makes it feel difficult.
Here's Easterday to start off this affair against the General. Swings at the first offering, grounds at the second. Platt bobbles at his throw, not in time. That's an error on David Platt, the Shiloh second baseman. And Bill, I think he thought about throwing it before he had it, took his eye off the ball.
Absolutely, Kevin. Really not a tough chance at all. Kind of a little routine, and like you say, he pretty much booted it once he seemed to have it in the glove. Good hustle by Matt Easterday, though, because so many times you hit that routine grounder and you just kind of lope down there, and if Matt hadn't been going full tilt, he wouldn't have beat it out, so maybe the Rams can get something going here.
Rams facing a right-hander here in Brian Bissell. Brian Moon will be the next man up. Brian Moon has not struck out since March 7th against Fayette County, so he has definitely been strong on the hitting side, and a great number 2 hitter. Delayed steal on the first pitch from Easterday to throw down, not in time, stolen base. The pitch, meanwhile, ball 1 to Moon.
Perfect execution of the delayed steal. Matt waited till the catcher looked down and then took off, and the throw, not a bad one, but Easterday in ahead of it.
So for Matt Easterday, that is stolen base number 6. He's only been caught once this year. The Rams have 49 stolen bases, not counting the 2 games against Troup County, so that's a total of 16 games when you don't count those 2. 49 stolen bases. Opponents, only 22 this year.
Of course, a lot of that has to do with the fine job Chris Middlebrooks has done, and also the Ram pitchers in throwing, keeping runners close.
Moon drives one toward the gap. That one's going to be in for a base hit. Rolls all the way to the wall. Rams score 1. Moon around second, stays put. It's a stand-up double, and 1-0. The Rams take the lead early on here. The double for Ryan Moonbill is his first extra base hit of the season.
He picked a good time for it. Got a pitch out over the plate, a fastball, and stayed with it and drilled it to that right center field gap. That's something the coach was talking about, particularly after that Berkmar game, where the hitters weren't waiting on the ball and driving it the other way. Brian, with a great execution there, just drilled it 1 hop off the wall, and Matt Easterday easily able to score from second base.
Now here's Stephen Hires. Hires 0 for his last 10, so he would like to get out of a slump here. Swings, pops one high and deep to center field. Mathis goes back. The lefty center fielder makes the catch. Moon tags. The throw is going to be cut off, and that's a kind of a sacrifice. While you'll advance the runner from second to third, of course, not counted as such since a run does not score, but the Rams do have a runner at third now with 1 down.
Actually, I was glad to see Stephen go up and hack at that first one like that. He had a pitch to hit, drove it hard. That's as hard as I've seen him hit a ball in a while, and that in some parks might have gotten out of here. Very deep dimension toward the center of the field here. That ball went a long ways and drove the left fielder back, and Ryan Moon easily able to scoot down to third.
Allen takes the first pitch high, ball 1. Our dimensions here, 340 to left field. 385, one of the deepest in the entire region. Center field, 310 to right. The wind by Bissell, he brings it home. Off-speed pitch, it's low, ball 2. In fact, I think the only other stadium in this entire region, A Quad A, that's any deeper is Meadow Creek. The last time that we were at Meadow Creek, not the Rams, the last time your play-by-play guy was there, 406 to center field. Pitch is high, ball 3, and that is awfully deep for a high school field.
That's a poke anywhere. But Stephen backed the center fielder up, and he really drilled on it. He has been having trouble taking a lot of good pitches for strikes. Went after that pitch and really drove.
Called strike to Allen, it's 3-1. Luke Allen comes in at 333. The Rams, if you count Matt Vaughn, who has 2 hits and 3 at-bats, the Rams have 8 hitters over 300 right now. 7 regulars. Allen swings, rolls one toward first base, picked up by the first baseman Brown, feeds his pitcher. They get the out there, but the run scores. Luke Allen with an RBI, and 2-0. Rams lead here. Allen standing on first base. Apparently he was safe there, Bill. I looked away from the moment.
Yeah, they did not go to first. They threw home immediately, and Ryan Moon, off on the contact play, was able to beat the throw. So they did not take the out and instead let the Rams score a run, and Luke's on down to first.
So a fielder's choice and an RBI for Luke Allen, so it's 2-0 in the early going here. And now here's Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks at 325 on the year. Stretch, and the first pitch to him pops it right back behind us and out of play. Parents Field at Shiloh High School is built into a valley beyond the outfield fence is the actual high school. Behind us, a residential area. This is built between 2 hills, so that the wind is very prevalent here, and it can get cold in a hurry.
We're hoping this one gets done while the sun's still up. At least we're on daylight time, so we got a little bit of chance from that.
Stretch and the 0-1. High and outside. That kind of looked like a pitch out, but the way Coker came up out of his stance at catcher, kind of wonder if Bissell might not have just let that one fly.
Kind of appeared to be a pitch out, but it was really even wild for a pitch out.
Allen takes his lead away at first base. They're bunting. Middlebrooks bunts to the right side. Good pick up by the pitcher. Bissell throws him out. That'll move Allen to second base. I think Joe Brassfield was trying to catch the Shiloh Generals off guard, so credit Bissell with a good play there.
That ball just a little bit too close to the pitcher. Chris with an excellent bunt, and he got the sacrifice done. If that ball would have been a little more down the third base line, I think he would have been able to beat it out.
So the trickery did not work in one aspect. Middlebrooks is not at first, but they did get the man into scoring position with 2 outs. And here's Cleary. This young man is on a tear right now. He's hitting .571 in his last 14 at-bats. First pitch to him, about a 50-footer. That's ball 1. Cleary now for the year is at 280, but a few weeks ago, Bill, he was at 188, so he's done a lot for himself.
He really has, and of course, we've talked about it. He's gone back to worrying more about just hitting the ball. He was so curveball conscious that he started missing fastballs that he normally wouldn't be driving out of the park.
Ball 2 to Cleary up high. Once Cleary started concentrating on hitting the fastball and taking the curveball, that's when that average started to soar yet again. Allen takes his lead away from second base, stretch and pitch. Cleary goes after an outside one, comes up short. 2-1.
Richie saw fastball, and he chased it, so probably about 6 inches off the outside part of the plate. He still loves that fastball.
Chris Coker giving the sign to his pitcher, Bissell. At the belt, he delivers low. So it's 3 balls, 1 strike to Cleary.
That's a key to Richie and the curveball. If he lets the low ones go down into the dirt, doesn't swing at him, he can sit and wait for a fastball pretty much.
With 3-1, we'll see what Bissell offers him. It is a fastball. Cleary goes the other way, hits it hard, but right at the right fielder, Chris Bader. And that'll do it for the Rams here in the first, but they pick up 2 runs, doing so on 1 base hit, the double from Ryan Moon. Rams left a man on base. After a half an inning, despite what the scoreboard might say here at Parents Field, it's 2-0. The Rams lead the Shiloh Generals. Newton Ram baseball right here on WGFS, AM 1430. We want to thank the folks at East Metro Communications for helping to bring you the Rams on the road this year.
It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Just check out these great prices for all your spring cleaning and gardening. Corona 21-inch head shears or Corona 24-inch bypass lopper, your choice, just $19.96. An Ace spring rake, $7.96. A garden weasel cultivator garden claw, $34.96. An Ace folding pruning saw, just $5.97. Or an Ace bypass lopper, just $19.97. It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware. your headquarters for spring cleaning and gardening. Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington.
Aside from choosing the right home, it's important to choose the right mortgage loan. At Newton Federal Savings and Loan, we're putting today's low rates together with prompt hometown service in offering special construction perm loans with one-time closing, conventional and balloon mortgages, and more. And servicing of your loan remains right here, too. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, 3175 Highway 278, Covington. FDIC insured and equal housing lender.
Up next, Terrence Field, Shiloh High School, and Newton Rams baseball. Rams with a deuce in the first and have taken an early lead. Here with the play-by-play, none other than Kevin Holden.
Bill Dolan, thank you very much. The Shiloh Generals set up this lineup against Luke Allen and the Rams. Eric Mathis leads off in center field. David Platt is the second baseman hitting second. William Geely in left bats third. Russell Brown is the cleanup man at first base. Mark Lordo plays third and bats fifth. Josh O'Donnell is the DH hitting sixth. Chris Vader in right field. Chris Coker the catcher. And Gabe Kolotny the shortstop round out the order for the Generals.
And the Rams with a couple of changes today with Luke pitching. Stephen Hires at first, Ryan Boone at second, Matt Easterday at short, Doyle Baker at third. Around the outfield, Jason the crafty lefty Lunsford in left, Jarvis Johnson with the start in center, Big Richie out in right, Chris Middlebrooks behind the plate, and Luke Allen with a microscopic ERA on the hill.
And his first pitch is a fastball just off the inside corner to Eric Mathis. Allen is 3-2 despite an ERA under 0.30. He winds and brings the 0-1 to 1-0 pitch home, and that one hit him. They're ruling that it hit him in the foot. Mathis didn't make a great attempt to get out of the way of that pitch, but they ruled that it hit him. So Shiloh has the first man on here.
That first pitch that was a little bit inside was a much better looking fastball, I think, than we saw Luke throw the entire Parkview game. It's amazing to not have your good stuff and throw a two-hit shutout against one of the top teams in the region.
He had sharp break on his curveball, but it was a slow break in the Parkview game. And of course, as we talked about many times, his fastball in that game was not his best, especially in terms of control.
He really struggled with it, but they helped him out hitting a lot of his pitches.
First pitch fastball up high to David Platt, ball one.
It's been a full week since he's pitched, so he appears a little strong.
Snap throw to first base. Mathis is back. In 20 innings that we have listed here, of course, we don't have the 7 innings he pitched against Troup County. He's given up 12 hits, walked 6, and struck out 11. There was a strike right down the pipe here. It's 1-1. Given up 10 runs this year, but only one of those earned. So Allen has been the pitcher when the Rams have made a lot of their defensive problems. Runner is going with the pitch. It's a strike, but it gets past Middlebrooks. And at second base is Eric Mathis. He'll have a stolen base, and that was a very odd hit-run play there. David Platt trying to just wave at the pitch low and outside to protect the runner who would have had the stolen base anyway, and it would have been ball 2.
Really a sharp breaking curveball that was miles outside and in the dirt. Chris Middlebrook almost diving for it, unable to come up with it.
1-2 pitch, another fastball, another one sailing high. Rams pounded out 11 hits Monday against the Brookwood Broncos en route to a 6-2 victory. Richie Cleary went the entire way for the Rams. In fact, the last time a Ram pitcher did not throw a complete game was against Rockdale. There's a swing and a miss. Platt goes down on strikes, and Allen just challenged him with the high heat.
That's once again another good-looking fastball from Luke. He appeared to have a lot of zip on that one. And in a good spot, that one up there, right in the eyes, and he was unable to come up with it.
Now William Geely. Runner takes his lead away from second base. Allen brings home the first pitch curveball, gets past Middlebrooks. Runner heads for third. Throw down, not in time. So Shiloh, with a man 90 feet away from cutting this lead in half here in the bottom of the first.
Chris Middlebrooks did everything he could to get to it and managed to get a little bit of leather on it, but still couldn't keep it from trickling away. So we'll have to call that a wild pitch. Very tough pitch to handle. Chris a little upset with himself, thought he should have had it, and actually had a little closer play than I thought he would get down at third base. Made a good strong throw, but the runner was off as soon as the ball trickled away.
And Geely is a dangerous hitter. He was batting in the number 2 hole in the batting order the last time that the Rams and Generals met. and Geely was 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Jason Lunsford shut out the Shiloh General team 7-0 at Riverside Park back on March 26th. Wind and the pitch, fastball low and outside, ball 2. Safe to say, Bill, that Allen's struggling with his control here in the early going.
That fastball was reminiscent of the ones he was throwing against Parkview. Low and away, just almost like he's hanging on to it too long.
New low pitch, missing just a tad high, so behind on Geely, 3-0. Russell Brown on deck. Middlebrooks with the sign, the crippled pitch. There's a strike. 3-1. Mathis was hit by a pitch to start this inning. He's standing at third base thanks to a stolen base and a wild pitch. 3-1 pitch on the way home. There's another strike outside corner, 3-2. So Allen is 4 down here and gotten a couple of strikes. Working quickly. Payoff pitch is due to Geely. Here it is, low, ball 4. So without the benefit of a base hit, Shiloh has 2 on with only 1 out here. Russell Brown was 0 for 3 against the Newton Rams and Jason Lunsford last time out. Of course, these stats the first time around are going to be very misleading because facing a left-handed junk baller and a right-handed fastball pitcher are 2 completely different things, and some hitters handle one better than the other.
Totally different world.
Stretch and pitch. Runner was going, and it's fouled off to the right side on the third base line, 0-1. Geely will have to make the trek back to first base.
That one got a piece of Chris Middlebrooks' left arm, and he's trying to shake it off now. That's a vital person of this Ram team. That's one guy you hope stays healthy, just because of the leadership he brings to the team. They were a lot different team those couple of games where he was out with that injury.
And of course, an injury to the left arm or a minor scrape or a bruise to the left arm doesn't bother you as much as one on the right arm, his throwing arm, like he had that caused him to miss that action earlier on. That throw to first base, and a close play there. Geely just in under the tag.
Well, I'll tell you, it looked like that throw beat him that time. Good tag by Stephen Hires, umpire. Said no.
Another snap throw over. This one bounced out in front of the place where Hires could tag the runner, so Geely back in yet again. So the white and black uniforms of the Generals, like in this case right now. There's a swing and a liner right back to the mound on one hop. Allen goes to second for 2. Throw to first. Dug out by Stephen Hires. Nice play by the Ram first baseman. 1-4-3 in the scorebook. And the Shiloh Generals go down here without scoring after threatening with first and third and 1 out. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on base for the Generals. We have played a full inning from Parents Field at Shiloh High School. Rams lead 2-0 over the Shiloh Generals in this 8-1A South battle. Newton Ram action on WGFS is brought to you in part by East Metro Communications, helping to bring you the Newton Rams on the road this year. Call them at 786-6796. They are an authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
The best money manager around is a checking account from the Bank of Covington. It's easy to keep track of your income and all your expenses with your checkbook and the detailed monthly statements we send you. It lets you see where you might save money, and it really helps in balancing your budget. If you're not already enjoying such financial assistance, learn all the advantages of a personal checking account at one of the convenient Bank of Covington locations. The Bank of Covington, member FDIC.
The cellular phone business has become extremely competitive, and it's not unusual to see ads offering free cell phones. What gets the consumer's attention these days is an affordable rate plan. Well, if that's what you're waiting for, then listen up. Right now at East Metro Communications, you can get a free cell phone, no connect fee, and cellular service for $14 per month. And that includes 20 minutes of off-peak airtime. That's right, I said $14 and 20 minutes free off-peak airtime. This offer expires April 30th. So go by East Metro Communications, this area's oldest authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. They're located a quarter-mile east of Newton General on Highway 278, or give them a call at 786-6796. Certain restrictions apply. It's no secret, organizations that do the best are the first-class organizations. Consider the Atlanta Braves, on top of the baseball world after winning the World Series in 1995. Now consider WGFS, your leader for sports. Now consider the two together. That's right, the Braves on WGFS AM 1430. Some first-class organizations that help us to bring you Braves baseball are Courtesy Ford, Statham Tire, and Newton General Hospital. The Braves on WGFS.
And welcome back to Parents Field at Shiloh High School. Double play pulled the Rams out of trouble here in the top of the second with the play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Here's Lane Floyd leading it off for the Newton Rams. It'll be Floyd followed by Doyle Baker. Jarvis Johnson, a 50-footer on the first pitch to Floyd. Lane Floyd comes in with a batting average of .323, and he's on a little hitting streak of his own, a 4-game hitting streak. He's hitting .400 in that stretch with 3 extra base hits.
Doing a good job of keeping the ball in play, hitting the ball hard and driving it. That home run at Parkview that just barely cleared the fence. One of those high towering things that took forever to come down. And I later found out that the ball didn't clear the fence probably by 5 feet because there was a batting cage out there and it landed in between the cage and the fence.
Floyd takes the 1-0 pitch, high, ball 2. Bissell with the wind in his 2-0 pitch. There is, we thought a strike, but it is not. Around the outside part, and the umpire pulled back as if he were going to raise the arm for a strike. Did not do so.
Scoreboard operator was fooled. We weren't.
3 balls, no strikes to the Rams DH. Takes one right down the heart for strike 1. Now Floyd, of course, hit 2 homers in a game that ended up not counting at Winder, and that was really the start of him hitting the ball better. He had 2 crucial RBIs in the replay of that Winder game, and then, of course, the home run at Parkview. 3-1 pitch, high, ball 4. Lane Floyd starts us off with a walk here in the top half of the second.
Good job of laying off that high fastball so many times. You see a hitter ahead in the count 3-1, which is really truly the hitter's count, and they see that high fastball and want to go after it, and suddenly they're down. It's 3-2 now, and then they got to protect the plate.
Floyd doing a good job as the leadoff man in this inning as well. He is not a leadoff batter by trade, but drawing the base on balls helps out just as much as if a leadoff man could do it. Doyle Baker is now the hitter. Stretch first pitch to him. Inside, gets away for a moment, but Floyd stays put. Baker in a bit of a slump. He's 2 for his last 14. And in the sub-region this year, Billy's hitting 143.
He really has slumped off a lot. He hit real well at the South Metro tournament, some of the other early games.
There's a swing and a hard grounder past the shortstop, Kolodny, into left field. Baker, just as we talk about how he's slumped, he hits a rocket shot into left field for a hit.
Good job turning on that fastball. Found it right through the hole, and when things start to go a little better for you, that ball gets through the hole instead of right at the shortstop for a 6-4-3.
That's the truth. Isn't it the case that when you're in a slump, it seems like everything you hit hard is right at him, and when you're going well, you could hit the up-to-hit ball, a little Texas leaguer or something, and you get on base regardless. Jarvis Johnson up there takes a pitch up high, ball 1. We had talked about this before, Bill. Johnson hit, of course, against Shiloh back on March 26th, and since then he does not have an official at-bat. Rams using Bryce Avery more in the outfield.
Jarvis was hitting well for a while, and he really dropped off and had a lot of problems.
He takes the strike here, right on the corner at the knee.
Almost wouldn't mind perhaps a sac bunt here. Jarvis real good at bunting, trying to move the runners along. He'd like to pick up a couple runs early on.
Johnson at .360. 25 at-bats. He's got 9 hits. He scored 8 runs. Also, near the top on the team. He was looking to bunt. The runners are going. The throw to third base has got him beat. He is gone. That's Floyd, who's out there. Taking second on the play is Baker. And that was not a good pitch to bunt. That was down and inside, almost in the dirt.
Well, that appeared to be the bunt and steal because both runners were off and going, and it was a tough pitch. Jarvis made a good effort to get to it. And Lane Floyd was out from me to you, though, down at third base.
Jarvis Johnson swinging and tipping one foul off the catcher's mitt and back to the screen here. We've got a lot of room between home plate and the back screen here in Shiloh, a lot like Brookwood. A tremendous amount of room here. In fact, you could see a base runner here if a ball gets away in a right spot, moving up 2 bases, perhaps, on a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Also a ton of room down the left field and right field lines, too, to where
Johnson swinging, lining one into center field. It's past the shortstop, another base hit, runner headed home, and he is going to score. Doyle Baker Scoring on the RBI single from Johnson, who's making the most of his first chance back here in a while. It's 3-0 Rams.
Just it looked like the Jarvis of old. He took the pitch, took it right back where it came from, drilled it up the middle. So the botched bunt attempt hurts a little bit more now, but at least we got one of the runs in.
Well, this is Coach Brassfield being aggressive early in the game and trying to establish a lead. And, of course, the good thing about having first and second, as you just saw, is even if the lead man gets thrown out, a base hit still scores you at least one. And Easterday bunting up the first baseline. That one's foul. That was another one of those surprise bunts. The Rams looking for a base hit off the bunt. They must be thinking that Bissell's delivery is taking him either toward first or toward third to where he can't field the bunt.
Going back to the foul areas here, there's so much space down the left and right field foul lines, too. An overthrow to a base could result in several bases taken. That's a critical thing, to make sure you back up on base.
That was a pitch out there, and Chris Coker dropped it, but Johnson was on his way back to first base, so he stays put. It's a ball and a strike to Easterday, who scored in the first after reaching on a ball that was booted by David Platt, the Shiloh second baseman. Coker gives the sign, setting up outside. Runner is going with the pitch. Curveball in the dirt. There will be no throw. Jarvis Johnson stealing his sixth base of the year.
Perfect pitch to steal on the breaking ball that ended up in the dirt, and the catcher, Chris Coker, never did find a handle on it, so Jarvis was already down to second base before Coker even picked up the ball.
Josh O'Donnell was the catcher the last time these two teams faced. I wonder how much experience this catcher has behind the plate. Pitches up high, ball three, and I would say that the Newton Rams are not a team to start an inexperienced catcher against, because they will certainly run all day. They already have 3 stolen bases. We have 1 out here in the second inning.
And I'm sure you'll see them continue to run as long as there's runners on base, too.
Runner takes his lead. This pitch outside, ball 4. Second walk from Brian Bissell. And the Rams rally continues here. The only out they've made in this inning was at third base on an attempted bunt and steal play, and that's going to bring Glenn George out to the mound to have a nice leisurely discussion with his infield and his pitcher and catcher. Gives us a chance to talk a little bit about some changes that we'll have this Saturday, Bill Dolan, because of your temporary leave of absence that you'll be having. We will not have the trivia show this Saturday, and Shiloh's going to make a pitching change here, Bill, so we'll get to the Saturday thing in just a moment. I thought perhaps this would just be a conference, but Glenn George is not waiting, not wasting any time at all. He's going to switch pitchers here. So while the Generals change pitchers, we'll take a quick break. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS, East Metro Communications. We want to thank them tremendously for their help throughout the 1996 season.
There are some who say you can't put a price on quality, but here at Coast to Coast Home and Auto, you'll find it's more affordable. That's because you can now get the legendary quality of a Toro Recycler lawnmower for as little as $299. Toro's exclusive recycler technology cuts grass clippings so well you could even miss a week and still get a great-looking lawn without bagging. Stop in and see us today at Coast to Coast Home and Auto, where you can get the Toro you've always wanted for as little as $299. So you finally decided this is the year you'll buy that new Toro Recycler lawnmower. You know, the one that gives you a great-looking, healthy lawn without bagging? Well, we at Coast to Coast Home and Auto would like to be the first to congratulate you on your excellent sense of timing. That's because for qualified buyers, you can buy it now with no payments or interest charges for 90 days. 90 days is as good as cash here at Coast to Coast Home and Auto, where you'll not only get a great Toro mower, you'll also buy some time.
Welcome back to Newton Ram Baseball from Shiloh High School in Parents Field. The Rams have started off quickly. They've already knocked the starting pitcher out. And here to tell you about the new pitcher, Kevin Holden.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill Dolan. Our new pitcher for the Shiloh Generals is Andy Mitchell. Mitchell is a sophomore. Brian Bissell, the senior, leaving after pitching an inning and a third, facing 10 batters. He's given up 3 runs so far, but the Rams' 2 runners at first and second belonged to him. He gave up 2 hits, walked 2, and did not strike out a batter, and the Rams really helped to figure him out here in the second with 2 walks and 2 singles those first 4 batters. So we'll see if they can have any continued luck against Andy Mitchell here.
Of course, the Rams figured out Brian Bissell pretty quickly there, Kevin Holden, and They hit some shots. He walked a few. Didn't appear to have very good stuff. And in watching Andy Mitchell, he appeared a little wild during his warm-up throw. So the Rams need to be a little patient here. Ryan can go up there and take a pitch or two and look for something he can drive. He, of course, his first time up, hit that tremendous double. He really ripped that ball to right center field.
His first extra base hit of the year, but make no mistake, his bat is a big one in this Ram lineup, despite the fact that he has only the one extra base hit, strike one taken. He came into this game hitting .390 for the year, 13 runs scored, second on the team, has 16 hits, lead the team. Now he has 17.
Also walked 12 times, so his on-base percentage is phenomenal. 643.
Stretch and pitch is low, ball one, and out of a number 2 batter, you can't complain about that. And Easterday hitting in front of him is at .548 in on-base percentage. So when the two people get on base in the top 2 spots more than 50% of the time, looking pretty good. Stretch, Mitchell delivers, swung on and bounced right off his left foot down the third base line, and it's cold and the wind is blowing, and you've got to know he hates doing that.
Well, another key to what you're talking about there, too, Kevin. Matt Easterday, 20 runs scored. Ryan Moon, 13 runs scored. So 33 of the runs, almost a third of the runs coming out of the top 2 guys. That's why you have guys to get on base at the top of your lineup.
And the number 4 and 5 batters today, Chris Middlebrooks and Luke Allen, 35 RBI between them. So the offense has done the job this year. The 1-2 pitch swung on and popped up right field side. Fader going back on it. Close to the track, makes the catch. Jarvis Johnson is tagging at second. He will move over to third on the play. A deep fly ball from Ryan Moon, who is suddenly stroking the ball to the outfield.
He got a lot of that when Fader came in on the ball at first, had to turn. Kind of turned every which way but loose, but it was high enough to where he was able to get back on it and make the play. But with the runner over at third base now, anything down in the dirt, any kind of an error or anything, it's always nice to have that runner at third base, even though there are 2 out.
And Andy Mitchell, as you mentioned, having trouble getting the ball over the plate in his warm-up tosses, so anything past the catcher could score a run. Runner heads for second base. They fake the throw there. Throw it back to third, and the throw goes into left field. So Johnson is going to score here. It'll be a high throw and an error on Chris Coker. Coker had faked the throw to second base, and then on the process of throwing to Mark Lordo, his third baseman, threw it about 10 feet over his head.
And actually a bad base running play by Jarvis Johnson led to that, because he started to move when the fake throw went down to second. He was almost trapped off, but the bad throw resulted in the run scoring. And once again, because the runner was at third base, the Rams pick up a freebie there.
Stretch and the pitch to Hires up high, so it's 2-0 to him. So Easterday at second base. Since he was going, he'll get credit for the stolen base. Johnson scores on the error on the catcher, Chris Coker. So it's 4-0 Rams. Stretch, 2-0 pitch. Swung on, bounced on 3 hops. The shortstop bobbles it. All hands are going to be safe. Gabe Kalodny looked just like his counterpart on the other side of the middle infield. David Platt looked like he looked up at the last second and lost track of the ball.
Ball hit pretty well up the middle, but Kalodny got to it plenty of times, should have made the play and was unable to come up with it, so there'll be an error on the shortstop.
Third error from the Shiloh Generals. We are in the second. This is very reminiscent of the way that Newton and Brookwood started out Monday. Brookwood kicking the ball around, the Rams scoring 6 early runs there in the first 2 innings and taking the early lead, and from there they coasted to the victory, and that's exactly what they're doing here. 4 runs here in the first 2 innings thanks to 3 Shiloh errors. Mitchell with the stretch fakes the go to third base and checking to see if that first base runner was going, and for the 4,000th straight time, he is not.
I think the Rams will be running, no chemical.
It is definitely a possibility, especially with 2 down. Allen, the swing and a miss, 0-1, because if the runner takes off for second base, knowing the arm of the catcher, Chris Coker, I have a feeling he'll be safe. They probably will not attempt to throw down there, and now Coker's probably frozen up a little after throwing that last one away. Stretch the 0-1 pitch on the way to Allen. Gets away for just a second. That'll move Hires to second base. The ball and a strike, and that was a pass ball.
Oh, yeah, that obviously, you hear it hit leather, and it just bounced away. Coker evidently took his eye off it, maybe looking down at the runner to see if he was going. So once again, the constant running and pressure you put on a team by doing that now makes the catcher make a mental error, which results in the pass ball. So 2 runners in scoring position for Luke.
And he can add to his team-leading 19 RBI with a base hit here. He takes a pitch high. 18 coming into this game, an RBI on a fielder's choice back in the first. Mitchell with the stretch. He brings it home up high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Good job of laying off that pitch by Luke Allen. That ball, tough pitch to hit, and being ahead in the count, he didn't hurt himself, and now he's really looking good in the count at 3-1.
He can pick a zone here. The 3-1 pitch is not in that zone, but it was called a strike. On the inside part, we're guessing it's 3-2.
Luke appeared to be diving out of there like it was coming in on his knees, but full count now for him.
And a payoff pitch to him. Inside, ball 4. And Mitchell has come in and walked Luke Allen to load the bases here. And with the bases loaded and 2 down, we'll see Middlebrooks, who's second on the team in RBI with 17, and he could do a lot of damage here and tie Allen for the team lead with a single to the outfield. In fact, he could take the team lead with an extra base hit.
Chris had some really critical key RBIs. He's done a great job of driving runners home at important times, and he's also gotten that batting average up now with some timely hitting. He's up to 3 1/4 coming into the game.
But he's reached base in every game since the Salem game back on the 16th of March, so in every sub-region game, he's been on base at least once. Stretching the first pitch to him, bouncer on 2 hops to the third baseman. He'll step on the bag for the forced play in the end of the second inning here, but the Rams do pick up another pair of runs, a couple of Shiloh errors figuring, and the Rams also picked up a pair of base hits. They left 3 men on base. They left 4 through the first 2. It's 4-0 Rams as we go to the bottom half of the second inning from Terrence Field at Shiloh High School, somewhere in between Centerville and Lithonia. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430. Thanking the folks at East Metro Communications, helping us to bring you the Rams on the road in 1996. Give them a call for some special rate plans, 786-6796.
Did you know that termites cause more damage to homes annually than fires, floods, and natural disasters combined? To protect your home from termites and other pests, call Cleary Exterminating, 786-4937. They'll send them packing. Termites and beetles, fleas, rats and mice, roaches and ants. Commercial or residential, we can help get rid of what bugs you. Call Cleary Exterminating on Highway 278 in Covington, 786-4937. At Cleary Exterminating, we make mouse calls.
At Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies, we've got you covered. With vinyl, wallpaper, carpet, wood, parquet, VCT tile, interior design service, carpet cleaning service, and blinds. They're the largest and most complete carpet store serving Newton, Rockdale, and Morgan counties, Lake Oconee, and surrounding areas. They specialize in residential and commercial flooring. Their professional carpet consultants and interior designer will bring samples to your home, take measurements, and quote you a price all in one visit. Call them, Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies, 786-9245, 786-9245, or in Madison, 342-3869. 342-3869. Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies.
Early afternoon at Parents Field in Shiloh High School, but the Rams have warmed up the scoreboard. They're on top 4-0. Here with the play-by-play in the bottom of the second inning, Kevin Holden.
Bill Dolan, thank you very much. We will see Mark Lordo, Josh O'Donnell, and Chris Bader. And of course, if anyone gets on, we'll see beyond that in the Shiloh order here in the bottom half of the second. Luke Allen has a job to prevent any more batters than those 3 from coming up here. He, in the first inning, was benefited from his own good defensive play, a 1-4-3 double play, ending the Shiloh scoring threat. Now Lordo digs in. And Allen's first pitch of the second inning is on the way home, and it's up high.
Oh, we want to mention, too, all our listeners out there, the Hard Luck Cafe Wing Ding inning will be coming your way in the 4th inning, the top of the 4th inning.
Your chance to win 100 hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. There's a strike to Mark Lordo. Evens the count at 1-1. 100 hot wings on the line, and of course the Hard Luck Cafe hasn't been able to give away any this year, but perhaps they might. It's 2-1 on the outside curveball.
Nice to see one of the Ram batters take one deep here and win someone 100 hot wings.
Wind and pitch, outside fastball. And we'll see what the Rams send up in the fourth. Of course, it's still a couple of innings away, but they might have the meat of the order. Due up, they start with Cleary in the third. 3-1 pitch, outside, ball 4.
And, of course, that's exactly what Luke doesn't want to do after picking up a couple of runs in the last inning. Doesn't want to put runners on base. He hit a batter in the first inning, and then the walk here. That doesn't help him out any.
First man on with no one out. And Josh O'Donnell steps to the plate. Stretch at first pitch to him, up high, ball 1. So Allen, the Shiloh general hitter's not able to touch him with the bat so far, but he's walked a couple and hit a man. They go to first base, and back in safely there is Lordo.
Appears to really be struggling once again with the control. Maybe he's overthrown a little bit again, Kevin, like we've seen him in the past.
Strike 1 on the outside corner. The way you can tell if he's overthrowing is when he has that coil where the front leg goes away from home plate. Watch him come out of that coil. That's how you can tell if he's overthrowing. His stretch and his pitch, of course, there with the quick step was not overthrowing, and the pitch is fouled off.
And he made a good pitch there to get ahead in the count now. We've noticed this year when he overthrows, he tends to have problems with his control. So when he stays within control and not overthrowing, he appears to overpower the hitters with better stuff. He pitches more instead of trying to throw.
Well, in his best game against Parkview, where he allowed only the 2 singles to one of the better hitting teams around, he only struck out 1 batter. The defense took care of the rest for him, and in fact, Richie Cleary, pitching the complete game against Brookwood, only struck out 2. Called strike 3. 1 down now as Josh O'Donnell goes down. A good 1-2 pitch from Luke Allen.
Really snapped off the curveball there. That's probably the best breaking ball he's thrown today, and it just froze O'Donnell at the plate. He was looking for that smoke, and when the breaking ball came across, he couldn't even move.
Now Chris Vader. The Rams, in terms of strikeouts the last 3 or 4 games, haven't had that many, but they have been demolishing some opponents in the sub-region this year. It's a called strike, another strong curveball. It's 0-1 to Vader, and once again, Bill, it looks as if the curveball has better spotting for Luke today than the fastball.
Well, he appears to not try to overthrow that and doing better with it.
Up high that time with the fastball, making 1-1.
Or sometimes it doesn't hurt to be just a little bit wild when you're throwing a good curveball because they tend to start bailing out when you come in with that impact curveball.
Fastball called strike outside corner. So Allen ahead in the count here to Chris Vader. That's wildly effective from what I understand, and we've had a few of those here at Newton High School. Runner taking his lead away from first base. 1-2 pitch on the way home, and that one didn't miss by much. May have been outside, making 2-2.
Of course, as he liked to be affectionately called last year, Brent Johnson, the wild thing.
Which we didn't quite understand the nickname because his control had been great last year. Liner down the right side. That one bounces just inside the chalk in fair territory. It's a base hit, possibly extra bases. Headed for second is Vader. He's in there standing up with a double. Shiloh with 2 in scoring position. Only 1 down here in the second. That one just found no man's land down the right field line.
Ball not hit hard at all, just kind of looped and was curving foul. Landed about 6 inches inside the chalk and then got kind of hung up in the fence there. Richie had a little trouble digging it out, but it was going to be a double either way. But Luke's going to have to pitch out of some trouble here.
And he'll be facing the number 8 and 9 batters, starting with Chris Coker. Fastball, first pitch strike to Coker.
Really could use a strikeout here to get to the second out.
Chris Coker, only a sophomore. Wind and pitch to him. He swings and misses. Overmatched by the fastball. It's 0-2.
Perfect word for that, overmatched completely. He was nowhere near the old expressive Luke on that one.
So the 0-2 count, and Allen just going with the fastballs against the lower end of the order here, and he comes back with the fastball. One hopper to Ryan Boone. They'll have the runner going to third base, and another run coming home, but out at first is Coker. Rams giving giving up the run for the out. Coker gets an RBI, and Shiloh has dented the scoreboard. Scoreboard here says it's 91-4, but folks, the news is a lot better than that. It's 4-1 Rams.
And the Rams, of course, with a 4-0 lead, were willing to trade the out for a 1-run there, trying to keep from turning into a big inning. That ball hit pretty hard. Ryan Moon, steady as she comes out there at second base, though, made a good play and easily threw out the runner at first.
Galodny takes ball 1. There's Vader at third base. His double helped set up the RBI ground out. There's a strike around the outside part. It appears that Luke is getting some calls around the outside corner with his fastball, and the way he throws that fastball near the outside part, that could really benefit him. 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and foul tip. Middlebrooks hung on to it. It's 1-2.
And talking about the infield staying back, if Brian Moon's playing in on at the edge of the infield, that ball probably gets by him and scores 2 runs.
One hopper back to the mound. Allen goes to first base, and that's all for the Generals here. They pick up 1 run. It was an earned one on 1 base hit, that being the double from Vader. Lordo came around to score, and Shiloh left 1 man at third base. No Newton Ram errors. So as we head to the 3rd inning, so far we've had a good one if you're a Newton Ram compatriot, and it is 4-1 right now. The Rams lead the Shiloh Generals. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by the folks at East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Just check out these great prices for all your spring cleaning and gardening. Corona 21-inch head shears or Corona 24-inch bypass lopper, your choice, just $19.96. An Ace spring rake, $7.96. A Garden Weasel cultivator garden claw, $34.96. An Ace folding pruning saw, just $5.97. Or an Ace bypass lopper, just $19.97. It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware, your headquarters for spring cleaning and gardening. Mayfield Ace Hardware on the square in Covington.
Welcome back to Iron Field, and something monumental happened in the last inning. Luke Allen gave up an earned run, the first time he's done that in quite some time, but the Rams still on top by the score of 4-1. Here with the play-by-play as we head to the top of the 3rd, Mr. Kevin Holden.
Not too bad when you pitch 29 innings, Bill, and you give up 1 earned run, and it doubles the number of earned runs you've given up for the entire year. He's now given up 2 in 29 innings. So we were talking earlier about the Saturday lineup and how we will not have a trivia show this Saturday, but we'll be looking forward to the next Saturday having you back for more trivia on the Saturday Morning Super Trivia Spectacular.
Well, Kevin, I want you to know, though, even though I'm not going to be there, I think Randy doesn't know that. He's probably still going to deliver hot wings for the studio audience. Might be in good shape.
Yeah, you know who happens to be working that air shift in that morning?
Wouldn't be you, would it?
Oh, yes. Why do you think Randy never got the phone call? Somebody intercepted a message before it got to him, and I'm going to be eating hot wings on the trivia show. Well, the time the trivia show would normally be 9 to 10 every Saturday. Richie Cleary leads it off for the Rams here to start the 3rd. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. Facing the fastball pitcher, Andy Mitchell, and we were talking about this earlier. The last time Richie saw a strictly fastball pitcher, he took one about 380 feet. Wind and the pitch, fastball low and outside.
Of course, the trivia show will be back next week. Just a 1-week hiatus because the host is going west.
Go west, young man. Curveball. That may have been the first one we've seen from him. It's low, 2-1.
Don't want to fall behind Big Red if you're a fastball pitcher. Actually, I hope he does.
Because you're a Newton Ram fan of the 2-1 pitch. Just missing outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mitchell in danger of walking Cleary to lead off this inning. Of course, the flip side is throw the ball over the plate with a fastball and could leave the yard. It's 340 to left field here. Wind the 3-1 pitch, fastball. He goes after it, misses it, 3-2.
Now, the previous pitch, Richie did a real good job of laying off a pitch up in the strike zone. Now he chases one outside and in a way that probably was ball 4.
Full count. Cleary awaits the 3-2 offering, swings, lines it, second baseman, drops it for a moment. His throw to first, not in time. It was a liner at David Platt, and he just dropped it for just a moment. By the time he picked it up, Cleary hustling all the way, just beat that out.
Kind of a tough call. Richie hit the ball hard, but the second baseman should have come up with it. That's an error on the second baseman. But once again, these Rams practicing good fundamentals. Ball lined right at the second baseman. You figure that's an easy out, but Richie didn't. He was running the whole way, and he legged it out. Rams with a chance to get something going.
They throw to first, and Cleary is back. Richie Cleary this year, with only 4 stolen bases, the courtesy runner rule has hurt him in games he's pitched, because whenever he reaches base and he's the pitcher, they can run for him, and usually they do to help save his legs and his body from any kind of physical toll on the base.
Richie, very adept at the delayed. The Rams use more than any team I've ever seen.
Pitch is low, ball 1. I would watch for something here. Rams lead by 3. You've got Cleary against a sophomore catcher who has had trouble throwing runners out, and it's the second pitch of the count. And Bill, you and I both know about the Rams on the second pitch, and that one was high and outside, and that might have hurt the Rams. If that pitch were low and inside, you might have seen it.
Not a very good pitch to pull a delayed steal on the catcher out of the box. Had a clear view the whole way. Coach Brassfield's familiar that he calls a lot of things on second pitches, and he's trying to change that around a little bit, I think.
2-0 inside, ball 3. Of course, the Rams able to reach base thanks to the base on balls. They may just wait and get some runners on that way and not have to risk it. Now with a 3-0 count, you're sure that Cleary will be staying, because ball 4 means that he'll be at second base regardless. There's a strike.
Lane Floyd about to get another free pass. I think he took Danny Oakley his first time up.
He sure did. He was caught stealing third on the bunt and steal play, and unfortunately the 2 runners not supposed to go full tilt on the bunt and steal play, and he was out from here to you. There's a swing and a grounder to the right side, going to be taken by the shortstop. Feeds his second baseman for 1, and the throw will not be in time. First base for the double play. It's Kolodny to Platt, 6-4. Cleary is gone, but Floyd on the fielder's choice is now at first.
Kind of a slow-moving play. There was really no chance of a double play there. In fact, I was wondering if they were going to have a chance to get Richie. If Richie would have gotten a little better jump out of there, could have made it a little closer down there. But good hustle by Lane Floyd getting down there and beating out.
Points at first for Doyle Baker, who singled and scored his first time. There's the delayed steal from Floyd, the throw down, and they got him. The catcher, Chris Coker, had his head down for just a moment, but pulled it back up, and on the delayed steal, Floyd is gone. Poor man isn't going to have great stolen base caught stealing stats. He is 1 out of 5 in stolen base attempts now.
And 0 for 2 today.
With 2 down here, there's a swing and a high fly ball to center field. Mathis came in, now going back and on his horse. Makes the catch, so Baker puts some extra charge into one. Got it into the wind up there. The Newton Rams, no runs in this inning, no hits. They left no one on base. Shiloh did commit 1 error, but that man erased on the 6-4 force play. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS. Rams lead 4-1 as we head to the bottom half of the third. We wouldn't be able to bring you the bottom half of the third or any other inning without the help of East Metro Communications, so we thank them for that.
At Coast to Coast Home and Auto, we believe when you buy a new lawnmower, it should come with no strings attached. That's why Coast to Coast Home and Auto is proud to offer a complete line of Toro Super Recycler mowers. The exclusive Toro 5-year total coverage warranty guarantees that if anything goes wrong with a Toro within 5 years of normal use, Toro will fix it free. No strings attached. Even failure due to normal wear and tear is included. No other manufacturer makes that claim. Coast to Coast Home and Auto also wants you to know that Toro Super Recycler mowers equipped with Toro GTS engines are guaranteed to start on the first or second pull for 5 years, or Toro will fix them free. No strings attached. If you really think about it, it only makes sense. The best mowers should have the best warranty. So come see us at Coast to Coast Home and Auto for warranty details. We have a great selection of new Toro Super Recycler mowers, each with a Toro total coverage warranty and no strings attached.
High school, it's Newton Ram baseball. Rams on top, 4-1. Here to tell you about it as we head to the bottom of the third. Just a half inning away from the Hard Luck Cafe wing ding inning. None other than Kevin Holden.
Why, thank you very much, Bill Dolan. As we head to the bottom of the third, we'll start with Eric Mathis, then David Platt and William Geely. Luke Allen gets to face the top of the Shiloh order, giving up an earned run last inning, which was only his second of the year. But of course, the Rams will take it in a game like this. They lead 4-1. Mathis awaits the first offering, swings, fouls it back to the screen here. The 1.5-mile territory between home plate and the screen. It's 0-1.
Of course, once again, it was the base on balls that led off the inning. He came around to score. The Rams have been haunted by base on balls, the runners coming around to score.
That's exactly what happened with Lordo, as you mentioned, in the second. Walked and came around on the ground out. Wine, the 0-1 pitch from Allen is on the way, and that's fouled off to the left. Allen is ahead of the leadoff man for the Generals. No balls, 2 strikes. Here at Shiloh High School, they're building their, as they call it, the Field of Dreams just beyond center field, their new football stadium, which should open in the fall of 1996. The 0-2 up high with the fastball. It's 1-2. They've been playing their football games at South Gwinnett High School, and they're hoping to change that this fall, but they got some construction left to do.
Like quite a bit left.
1-2 pitch, lined left side. That'll be a foul. Line drive down that third base side, but it was hooking and was about 10 or 15 feet foul. Bill, back to the stadium we were talking about. Shiloh building their Field of Dreams here. This school has been in existence for a while, about 15 years, and they're just getting around to the financing, finally able to build their own stadium.
Coach George was saying down here in this baseball facility they're going to put some locker rooms and some other things. They're really going to enhance it even more. It's quite a nice facility already.
1-2 is outside, ball 2. This place hosted the region tournament 2 consecutive years, 1990 and 1991. Wine. Luke Allen brings home the 2-2, a swing and a miss. It was the curveball that he caught him on. Started it right in the middle of the strike zone, broke it down and in, and the lefty came up short.
He was looking, appeared like he was guessing fastball, and that ball just broke off the table. Really kind of paralyzed, and that ball ended up almost hitting him in the ankles as it was such a sharp break on it.
Now Platt takes a pitch, a little bit high, ball 1. David Platt striking out swinging back in the first. Shiloh with 1 run on 1 base hit, the double from Chris Vader. 1-0 pitch curveball, missing low and outside.
That ball, as we mentioned at the time, not hit very hard at all, just kind of a little blooper, landed in no man's land.
That one fouled right behind us, 10 feet behind us, out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rams and Shiloh Generals have had some heated affairs over the last several years here at Parents Field. 2-1 pitch on the way home, and that ball was 30 feet up the third base line. Allen lost his grip on the curveball, and that one headed toward the on-deck batter.
And we'll be seeing that on baseball bloopers tonight.
3 balls, 1 strike. Allen looking at home plate and laughing. He lost his grip on the curveball and threw it a good 30 feet away from home plate. 3-1 pitch, fastball. A little closer, but outside, ball 4.
That one actually closer to the dugout, the Shiloh dugout, than it was to home plate.
And the Shiloh dugout is pretty far up the left field line, Bill. It's a little farther up, I think, than most dugouts.
In fact, the bulk of it appears to be at third base and beyond, so you can tell it's pretty far up. That's why there is so much foul ground here, because the dugouts are so far up the line.
Well, the man who caught the ball and returned it to him was William Geely, who is now stepping to the plate, and Geely didn't move much from the on-deck circle, which is right in front of that Shiloh dugout. Luke Allen let a wild one go, and we had a laugher for a moment here at Parents Field. Stretch. Runners going with the pitch, off speed, taken to right field, and that one is going to be a fair ball down the right field line. Rounding second, heading for third is Platt. They're going to wave him home. The throw cut off by Hires. Staying at second base is Geely. It's now 4-2, and that one, just like the double from Chris Vader, right down the right side on a hit and run.
That one, once again, almost raising chalk, just barely fair. Richie Cleary had a little problem coming up with it. I don't think they get the runner at the plate. He was going all the way. He was able to score easily. And Coach Bransford's going to come out and talk to Luke a little bit here. But once again, the base on balls comes around to score.
With 1 out, they walked Platt, and he is now sitting in the Shiloh dugout after scoring the second Shiloh run. So Geely at second with 1 down. Russell Brown is up, and Russell Brown, last time out, was a crucial batter for the Rams back in the first inning as they were trying to establish the momentum in the early going of this game. A 1-4-3 double play. got the Rams out of a jam in that inning. We'll see if they can pull out something similar here. Of course, the double play, not much of a chance with the runner at second and none at first.
Chris Middlebrook shouting words of encouragement to the infield. Rams just need to tighten up. You get kind of a bad feeling sometimes when you have some possible offensive chances and you let them slip away and start losing runners on the bases. 3-run lead wasn't very comfortable, and now it's down to 2 runs.
Stretch, runner is headed for third base. There's a swing and a liner to left field. That's a base hit. Lunsford had gone over to back up third base. He had to rush back to keep that ball from going to the outfield fence. Holds Brown to a single. The Rams' lead is now down to 1 run, and the hit-run play working very well for the Generals right now.
That ball hit hard. That ball was probably the best hit ball of the day by one of the Generals. Russell Brown really got on it and lined the shot to left.
Now Mark Lordo. Lordo scored the first Shiloh run in the second, walking and coming around to score. And Middlebrooks and Boone are going to go in and talk to Luke Allen for just a moment here.
Generals appearing to run on almost every play. Now it's kind of a good time where you might want to try a pitch out or something, try to catch them in something. And as well as Chris throws, if he can catch them running with a pitch out, I think he can throw a runner out. That could really help to change the momentum around. But the Generals are giving the Rams a little bit of a dose of their own medicine right here, running and hit running and making things happen.
There have been some slugfest played here. A 9-8 game a couple of years ago. Lead changed hands, I think, 5 times in that game. Middlebrooks catching the first pitch from Luke Allen up high. Mark Lordo taking it for ball 1. And a lot of seesaw battles here. This is not an unusual thing to happen at Shiloh High School. Stretch runner stays put, a swing and a miss. Good fastball from Allen, good location. It's 1-1.
Ram infield looking for that double play. That would be a big plus if they could get out of this inning without any further damage.
Baker is right on that third base line, about a step and a half away from it. 1-1 pitch up high. They're taking away the extra base hit down the third base line, at least from Lordo.
I think you almost have to do that with such a wide foul territory down there that if one goes down the line and gets away, it could really be a problem.
And on pickoff throws back to the pitcher, Baker is absolutely sure to come back there and back him up because a runner can advance quite a ways with all that territory. 2-1 pitch high, all 3. Allen has walked 3 already and hit a man, and in danger of passing number 4. On deck is Josh O'Donnell, a strikeout victim his first time. Strike called outside corner. Mark Lordo had flipped the bat away and was taking his trot to first base, and the home plate umpire called it strike 2, and I have a feeling Lordo might want to be protective of an extra wide strike zone here.
Don't want to show up that umpire.
3-2 high, ball 4. So that pitch was about shoulder high, and you're not going to get that call regardless of the circumstances. So first and second with 1 out, and once again, Middlebrooks and Allen are going to have a bit of a discussion here. The wheels coming off to an extent here for the Rams in the third.
Luke appearing to overthrow that full count pitch there and coming in high. He is definitely struggling, not showing his best stuff. Perhaps cold weather having a little something to do with it, but Rams let a few early chances slip away. Said you really hate to see that.
Allen has given up 3 hits and walked 4, and he has allowed another base runner via the hit by pitch. So 8 men have reached base for the Generals in only 2 1/3 innings. And you don't like to do that under any circumstance. 4 straight have reached for the Generals, 2 walks and 2 hits. Now first and second for O'Donnell. Runners are going with the first pitch. It's swung on and back to the screen. It bounces back toward Middlebrooks. So second and third now. Runners stealing second and third, but that was a hit and run, and O'Donnell missed that ball completely.
And somehow the ball went right through Chris Middlebrooks. I believe that's probably a pass ball there. That appeared to be a ball he could catch. I don't know if the swing interrupted him so much that he was unable to see it, but it appeared to be a ball he should have caught.
Well, since the runners are going, I think we'll be probably...
Well, that's obviously going to be stolen base. You're right. But fortunately, he got to it in time.
It kept him from scoring.
Kind of strange to see Chris miss the ball completely like that.
Second and third here, so Allen beating Mayer down against O'Donnell. The 0-1 pitch bounced right back to the mound and passed him. Incoming on a diseaster day to first. They got him there, but the Generals tie the score. So the base umpire emphatically punching him out at first base. He was diving head first into the first base bag. He's retired 6-3, 1-6-3 actually, as Luke got a hand on the ball.
You know, if Luke comes up with that clean, he's able to hold the runner at third base and the run wouldn't score. Great play by Matt Easterday coming in and really unleashing. The base runner probably hurting himself with the head first dive because since you can overrun first base, your speed's going to be maintained better by running. So to dive, you actually have to slow down. So he might have beat it if he continued to leg it out.
Now Chris Vader, who doubled his last time, and looking for the bunt up the third base line. The runner was coming home, suicide squeeze with 2 outs. The ball is foul. It's 0-1. That's the potential go-ahead run at third base here with 2 down, and Shiloh, like Newton, using some special plays to help give them a big inning this inning.
Kind of a strange play, like you were saying there, with 2 outs to attempt an almost suicide. Well, it really was a suicide squeeze. The runner was coming, and if the ball would have been fair, Chris Middlebrooks would have tagged out the runner, the bunt right there.
0-1 pitch, not bunting this time. He takes a strike, 0-2. Allen needing one more strike here to escape, giving up 3 runs. Shiloh having tied the score here thanks to a pair of base hits and a few walks. 0-2 pitch, just miss high.
Good pitch by Luke at 0-2, just off the strike zone. Couldn't quite get him to chase it, but looking a little better now.
Taking his lead away from third is Mark Lordo. The pitch, strike 3 called. It's the curveball. Caught the outside corner. For Allen, that is strikeout number 4. The Generals pick up 3 in the inning on 2 hits. No Newton Ram errors. A couple of walks hurt them. 1 man left on base. The wing-ding inning coming up as we head to the top half of inning number 4. We are tied at 4 from Parents Field at Shiloh High School. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS, AM 1430. East Metro Communications helps to bring you Ram baseball. Give them a call, 786-6796. They've got a ton of great rate plans waiting for you.
The Bank of Covington offers full-service banking and convenient locations, and you can find what you want in a checking account, savings plan, simple interest loan, and 24-hour automatic banking that gives you access to over 8,000 ATMs throughout the Southeast and the USA. Just what you would expect from a leading financial institution. The Bank of Covington, member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
What's the crowd favorite at parties any time of the year? Why, it's hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. With flavors ranging from extra mild to TNT, they can placate any palate. There are 3 convenient locations to serve you. One in Madison, one in Conyers, and the original Little Red Building in Covington. So stop by for the best hot wings around or call ahead so your order will be ready when you get there. In Covington, the number is 787-0421. That's 787-0421.
And welcome back to Parents Field at Shiloh High School. It's a brand new ball game. The score all knotted up at 4-4 as we head to the 4th, and the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning. Here to tell you all about it, and the play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
The wing-ding inning goes like this, Bill Dolan. Thank you very much. There's a chance for somebody to pick up 100 hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. This half inning, of course, it will take a home run off the bat of one of these Newton Ram hitters, and we're in a deep ballpark. If the Rams can perhaps pull the ball to left or right, that'll be their best shot to take it out of here. But nonetheless, if it does happen, somebody will pick up 100 hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe, and Randy and all the folks down there. Joe McLaney is the first contestant. Jarvis Johnson is batting for Joe McLaney of Covington.
And Jarvis without a home run this year. So, Joe, maybe you can talk him into hitting this first one for 100 hot ones.
Wine, Andy Mitchell delivers. Johnson was bunting and not much of a chance for a home run that way. He pulled it back, but it's strike 1. If you'd like to become a part of the wing-ding inning, put your name, address, and phone number on a 3x5 note card or something to that effect. send it to us. There are also entries in the newspaper. Swinging a foul ball from Johnson, it's 0-2. You can send it to the Wing-Ding Inning, care of WGFS Radio, P.O. Box 869, Covington, Georgia, 30210. You can also bring it by our studios on Hendrick Street, fax it at 784-9892, or bring it by the Hard Luck Cafe. 0-2, swung on and missed. Jarvis Johnson goes down, took a weak swing at that Andy Mitchell offering. That's the first strikeout for the General. And Matt Easterday is coming up, batting for Casey Allen, who lives on Mitchell Road in Covington. So Casey Allen with a chance for 100 hot wings. And we have not given away anything yet in the Wing-Ding Inning. Bill, the Rams have hit 9 home runs this year, but none of them in the magical inning. Wine pitched to Easterday, line up the middle, cutting across to the second base bag and bobbling it for a moment is their shortstop, safe at first base as Easterday on the base hit. Gabe Kolodny bobbling that ball.
I don't know if he throws Matt out on that play. I think we probably give him a base hit there. He had to go a long way up the middle, so we're going to call that a base hit.
That was a hard hit ball, and even if he makes the play cleanly, his momentum is carrying him to right field, and he would have had a tough throw to first base. Easterday with the base hit is first in this game, but he's reached base every time like a good leadoff man should. Ryan Moon, the hitter, hitting for Tracy Harper, who lives on Dixie Trail in Covington. Moon is 1 for 2, got his first extra base hit at the first. Perhaps he can give his second and have it leave the yard.
Well, he's hit the ball hard both times, and one a one-hop double, and the other a long fly to right field.
Strike called outside corner to Moon, 0-1. Tracy Harper, you're listening to our Ram broadcast this afternoon. You might have a chance to scout out. We want to thank the folks at the Hard Luck Cafe, by the way. They have been tremendously supportive of us throughout the years here on Ram Baseball and sponsoring the Wing-Ding Inning for the second straight year, and it has been a huge success.
Entries pile in by the day as we sort through them, and hopefully we can give away a winner one of these days.
Pitch is high and back to the screen. A wild pitch will allow Easterday to move to second base. That pitch was well over everybody's head. In fact, Coker came up out of his stance, reached up with his glove over his head, still couldn't make the play on that pitch.
I don't know if once again they were thinking about a pitch out or what the deal was on that one, but it would have been tough for anyone short of about 6'6" to pull that one down, I think.
2 pitchers warming up in the Shiloh bullpen, so the pitching parade for the Generals may not be done tonight. We're in the 4th, tied at 4. Rams with a man in scoring position. Swing hardliner right side. Will this one stay fair? Giving chase, the right fielder slides into the fence. It's a foul ball, and for a moment there was a little concern. It looked as if Chris Vader had his cleat caught up in the fence down there, but he's okay.
There's a fenced-off area down there where what appears to be some batting cages, or perhaps it's the bullpen, maybe it's hard to tell. He went right into that fence, but jumped up and he's okay.
So meanwhile, a ball and 2 strikes, a well-hit ball for Moon, but it's just a noisy strike. On deck, Stephen Hires, he's 0 for 2 and 0 for his last 12 now. Stretch and pitch in the dirt. Easterday thought about going to third base, but decides wisely to retreat, and the count evens to Moon.
Good block by Chris Coker, kept it right out in front of him, and Matt, with some good heads-up base running, was able to spot the ball that close to him. He'd have probably been a dead duck trying to go on that.
You've got a runner in scoring position who represents the go-ahead run with the hitters the Rams have coming up. Wise to stay put. Pick-off throw to second base, but Easterday wasn't straying too far, as we were just mentioning.
Starting to cool off a little bit here at Terrence Field, but doesn't it always?
Stretch, and the pitch, line right back up the box. It's a base hit into center field. Rounding third is Easterday. He's going to try to score. Throw comes in, it's cut off, and the Rams retake the lead 5-4. Ryan Moon with the clean base hit to center is for his second hit of this game, and an RBI for him.
Buck really jumped on that 2-2 pitch, just drilled it right back where it came from. No doubt about it that was the base hit. Had Easterday off and running with the contact, able to just stroll home, and a great job of hitting by Ryan Moon.
Stephen Hires is the batter, batting for Nick Salmon, who lives on Steel Road. And Stephen Hires is in a bit of a slump, but could break out here. As we mentioned before, he has taken the collar in his last 12 at-bats. Takes the first pitch here. It's up high, ball one. Rams now lead 5-4 thanks to the base hit from Ryan Moon. Remember that the Rams will be home on back-to-back days later this week. Friday against Winder Barrow and Saturday against Mount St. Joseph from St. Paul, Minnesota. Strike called inside corner at the knees, 1-1.
Stephen hasn't left the yard yet, but he has the power to do so. If he can get one up into that right center field wind tunnel out there, he could win 100 hot wings for Nick Salmon.
They go to first base. Moon is back in. Look at the flag in center field, Bill. You can see it's blowing out almost directly to center, perhaps a tad to right center. So anyone who hits to the off field here has a pretty good chance that they can get the ball up in the air. Pitch is outside.
Of course, Luke Allen up on deck, a left-handed hitter. If he can get one to pull, he could easily rip it into that right field.
He may have a chance to come up with a couple on and only one out. 2-1 pitch. Ball out popped up right behind us. It'll be out of our reach safely and behind the fence that they have corralled this field in with, out of play. 2 balls and strikes. We're only in the 4th inning, and hands are starting to get numb in cases around the ballpark here. Go to first base, and again, Moon is back in, this time diving. But a lot of cold folks already. Some blankets have been broken out here, and of course the heavy artillery, heavy clothes, winter clothes brought by a lot of folks today. 2-2 is up high, ball 3. Mother Nature has played a serious trick on all of us in Georgia this winter and early spring.
You're listening to Newton Ram baseball.
Feels like Newton Ram hockey, doesn't it?
Oh, it's not warm.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, runner heads for second base, one hop on the throw, and it bounces away. The Moon with the stolen base, but Hires strikes out. Sorry, Nick Salmons. We'll throw you back in, and perhaps we'll draw you at a future point in time, but the stolen base from Moon puts him at second. 2 down now, and Allen will have to have a base hit to drive one in, and he bats for Larry Lee Womack of Oxford. Mr. Womack, there are a lot of people down the first base line here at Parents Field who wouldn't mind seeing Luke Allen take one deep. A 1-run lead is very shaky right now.
Rams need to get a few more, and Luke without his best stuff, so he's struggling.
Swings and lines the first pitch hard, foul on the third base side. No balls, 1 strike, just behind on the fastball.
Stephen Hires continuing to struggle at the plate, swung at really a bad pitch there. Could have been ball 4, and he swung at 1 down low and away, and strike definitely out of the strike zone.
Allen takes one outside, ball 1, and if the Rams don't pull away here against the Generals, I have a feeling you might see Joe Brasfield make a little alteration lineup-wise. In future games, you might see Stephen Hires drop a little in the batting order if that continues. With a 1-1 count, Glenn George of the Shiloh Generals has called time, and he is going out and having a discussion with the base umpire and a couple of his players, and with a 1-1 count, we are changing pitchers here. Perhaps Coach George has a pitch count on his pitchers. Maybe that's the reason why we see 3 or 4 pitchers per game, because with a 1-1 count, and Mitchell having just struck out Stephen Hires, you've got to know that he wants to finish this one out, but apparently that's not what's going to happen here. So Glenn George is discussing matters with the umpires as he's going to make a slew of changes, it appears. One man is coming into the game, maybe to play right field. The right fielder, Chris Bader, has come in. He might be the new pitcher. We'll sort out the details in just a couple of moments here. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by the folks at East Metro Communications. They are Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
Are you tired of being ridiculed and laughed at because you don't have a cellular phone? Don't cry. East Metro Communications can help. Now through April 30th, East Metro has free phones, no connect fee, no programming fee, and monthly access as low as $14 with 20 minutes of free off-peak airtime. That's an incredible deal. Don't delay. This offer expires March 31st, so go by East Metro Communications, this area's oldest authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular, and get the details. East Metro Communications, a quarter-mile east of Newton General on Highway 278, or give them a call at 786-6796. Certain restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Parents Field, Shiloh High School. 2 down, the Rams lead by a run. We are in the 4th inning. A couple of changes for Shiloh, not the pitching changes that we thought we might see. Apparently a Shiloh player got injured. The second baseman, Platt, will give you the changes in a moment. Luke Allen with a 1-1 count. Andy Mitchell delivers in the dirt, ball 2. Matt Holloman is in to play right field, and Chris Vader has moved from his right field position to play second base, replacing Platt, who was hit by a line drive earlier this inning, Bill, and apparently has left the field. Line and the pitch, swung on and tapped foul, 2-2.
Luke had a good cut on that one, just fouling it back into the catcher. Big time for just a base hit here, though. Luke doesn't really need to worry about going yard. Base hit would really help. Of course, I'm sure Mr. Womack would appreciate it if he did.
Larry Lee Womack, our current contestant in the Hard Luck Cafe wing ding inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mitchell brings it home, and Allen stays alive, fouling another one off. After Allen, we'll see Middlebrooks sacrifice 1-3 Middlebrooks first time, and second time out he hit a ground ball to third, and the third baseman Lordo stepped on the third base bag. Boone leads away, stretch and pitch, swung on and bounced toward the shortstop. Kolodny bobbles it again, and safe at first base is Luke Allen. I think the Rams have figured out where to hit the ball, Bill.
He certainly has had his problems. Hasn't made many plays. In fact, I think he's kicked more than he's actually made.
The first and third with 2 down. That's an E6. And Allen is safe at first base, so here's Middlebrooks, who can add to his RBI total. Kay Fincher in Oxford, Georgia, is our contestant that Middlebrooks is hitting for. A 3-run shot, give the Rams a 4-run lead. I have a feeling Middlebrooks is probably concentrating a little more on the contact side of things right now. But do remember that on deck is Richie Cleary. Andy Mitchell throws probably 85% fastball.
Chris Middlebrooks, of course, the only Newton Ram to ever win Hot Wings for someone. He hit a home run to or a wing ding inning winner last year.
Middlebrooks taking the first one up high, ball 1. That pitch just over the waist-high level, and really, since even though it's out of the strike zone, probably not a bad pitch to take a rip at. Stretch and the offering, that's a strike, 1-1. The pitch came in awfully low, perhaps but below knee level as it was crossing the plate.
This umpire appears not to be calling the high strike and obviously calling the low one on that one.
Runners take their leads. Middlebrooks tapping one up the first base side. It's foul, rolls back this way.
Hit and run was on the play. Luke was off and running, and you could tell Chris kind of lunging at the ball. Was outside trying to protect the plate and the runner, and sometimes that backfires as he's now in the hole 1-2.
2 down here in the 4th. The Rams have pushed one across. Ryan Boone finding one right back up the middle. Score Matt Easterday from what is soon to become frigid Parents Field. Not yet. The sun is out in certain places. We happen to be in the shade. Lucky us. Pitch from Middlebrooks, foul tipped, but it goes out of the mid of Coker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Middlebrooks taking a hack at that one, and it just barely bounced out of the mid.
Fortunate for him that it did. And just hear it tick, and the umpire was right on top, but Luke Allen was already down at second base. They had to send him back.
Moved at third, Allen at first. 2 down here. Rams have 5 base hits, including 2 in this inning. The only extra base hit was Boone's double. Middlebrooks once again stays alive by chopping one foul over by Richie Cleary.
Once again, fighting off a real tough pitch out in that outside corner neighborhood where we've seen so many umpires call strikes. So Chris doing a good job of fighting off a tough pitch, stays alive.
Rams game against the Brookwood Broncos lasted an hour and 50 minutes, despite the 6-2 score. Here it's 5-4, and we're an hour 25 minutes into this one, only in the fourth inning. It's in the dirt, gets away, and Allen will have second base without a throw, without anything. That pitch was probably a 55-foot pitch.
Ryan Moon had ideas of coming down the line, came about 10 or 15 foot down the line, and Coach Brassfield immediately started shouting back as the ball didn't bounce very far away. But now a chance for two ribbies for Chris.
2-2 pitch on the way to him. Once again, he stays alive. Just got a piece of it. It was a pitch near the outside part. He understands as a catcher that the umpire has been giving a few outside calls, and so just takes a little hack at it, stays alive.
Once again, just a good at-bat for him. He's battling and battling, and the way this pitcher's throwing these 55-footers, he may come up with another one that comes back to the backstop.
That, of course, could score a run. 2-2 pitch, swung on, foul tipped, and once again it leaves the mid of Coker, and Middlebrooks gets yet another life.
Chris has fouled off probably now 7 or 8 pitches since being behind in the count. Doing a good job of battling. I'd really love to see the big senior backstop drill one into down the left field line about now.
Another 2-2 pitch on the way. It's in the dirt, and it bounces up the third baseline. That's probably the worst place for that to bounce if you're the third base runner, Ryan Moon, because you'll be running right at where the ball is. Catcher could feasibly pick that up and tag you as you're running by, so Moon stays put, but the count goes full.
And once again, he's battling in the count, and pitcher doesn't want to load the bases up with big Richie coming up, so Chris can look maybe for a fastball he can drill here.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 2 runners in scoring position. They take their leads. 3-2 pitch, and he swings and taps another one foul. Chris Middlebrooks is doing a tremendous job against Andy Mitchell.
Got a breaking ball down and away, and Chris lunged out at it, just able to get a piece of it. Once again, just doing a fine job of staying alive.
You can see the command of the strike zone by Middlebrooks. 3-2 on the way to him. Low, ball 4. That was about the longest job of coaxing a walk that I have seen a high school hitter do in several years, and Chris Middlebrooks fouled off at least half a dozen pitches in that at-bat, probably closer to 10 pitches as he reaches first base.
That was a big league at-bat, Kevin, as he battled and battled and battled.
And so with the bases loaded, you've got a pitcher who throws a lot of fastballs against a hitter who we can say pretty safely can hit the fastball fairly well. Richie Cleary is 0 for 2. Here he's batting for Rainey Sweat. And I've got to be honest with you, Rainey. Your chances are about as good as any have been in the last couple of games. There's the strike call to Cleary, 0-1.
Right now, I'd like to really just see Richie do what he's been doing so well. Just drive the ball hard, get a base hit. Let's get a couple more runs.
0-1 pitch. Pulled on it. Loops one up the right field side and just foul. And so just as the Shiloh General hitters were hitting him just fair down that right side, Cleary doesn't get quite the same luck as it's about 2 feet foul.
That ball hits fair the way it was spinning. That probably would have cleared the bases. And that once again shows how baseball, a game of inches. Shiloh General's balls hit a total of about 8 inches on 2 balls. That ball continued to hook and just went foul.
So Cleary in a hole, 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. Rams have reclaimed the lead here, but hope to add to it. The 0-2 pitch, low, ball 1. That was the fastball.
Tough pitch to lay off of, especially with this umpire calling that low strike, but good job by Richie. Richie just needs to put the ball in play now. Maybe hit it to the shortstop.
Stretch. And Andy Mitchell delivers. Swings, pops it up, right center field side. Holloman calls for it, was fooled by it for a moment, but he makes the catch. That's the third out. Cleary flies out, so after a long at-bat from Middlebrooks, he coaxes the walk, but the Rams cannot take advantage. They do pick up 1 run in the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning, but no homers, and therefore no winners in the wing-ding inning. So we're halfway home. Bill Dolan will take up your play-by-play duties. When we return, it's 5-4. The Newton Rams leading the Shiloh Generals. Ram Baseball on WGFS, brought to you in part by East Metro Communication.
Hey there, Carl the Greenskeeper here for the Hard Luck Cafe. You know me, I'm the guy who delivers hot wings to the trivia show every Saturday morning. Randy wanted me to be sure and let everyone know that the Hard Luck now has 3 locations. That's one in Conyers, one in Madison, and of course the original location in Covington. You know, that's that little red building down there where Nationwide used to be. So for the best hot wings around, stop by the Hard Luck or call ahead so your wings will be ready when you get there. I can't remember all the numbers, but in Covington it's 787-0421. That's 787-0421. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to tell them that Carl sent you.
The cellular phone business has become extremely competitive, and it's not unusual to see ads offering free cell phones. What gets the consumer's attention these days is an affordable rate plan. Well, if that's what you're waiting for, then listen up. Right now at East Metro Communications, you can get a free cell phone, no connect fee, and cellular service for $14 per month. And that includes 20 minutes of off-peak airtime. That's right, I said $14 and 20 minutes free off-peak airtime. This offer expires April 30th. So go by East Metro Communications, this area's oldest authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. They're located a quarter-mile east of Newton General on Highway 278, or give them a call at 786-6796. Certain restrictions apply.
Welcome back here at Shiloh High School as we head to the bottom half of inning number 4. Luke Allen and the Rams hope to maintain the 1-run lead. Another man who hopes to maintain it, your play-by-play announcer, Bill Dolan.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. And Chris Coker, the backstop for the Shiloh Generals, leads it off. And Luke throws a fastball, and it's a called strike. Good-looking pitch right on the inside corner at the knee. Luke Allen working in his 4th inning. Works quickly. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a little number out towards second base. Easterday up, throws in the dirt, safe. Tough chance, and another one of those numbers that somehow managed to find its way through. So give Coker a base hit on that.
And he got a little home cooking, so to speak, on that base hit. It bounced right behind the pitcher's mound, and behind there the grass is kind of dead there, and when it hit, the ball literally died about 10 feet behind the pitcher's mound. So by the time Easterday could make the play, there was no chance for him to throw him out.
And I believe we've got a pinch hitter coming up here.
That's Matt Holloman, who came in to play right field. And he is batting in the number 9 spot, I guess, for Gabe Kolodny. We're going to check this in just a moment. That is Holloman hitting, and he's hitting in the number 9 spot, which was Kolodny's spot, but I didn't realize that Kolodny was out of the game. I thought that he was there in the top half of the inning. In fact, he misplayed a ball in the top half of the 4th.
And we've got a courtesy runner also coming in, number 5 for the Generals, Chris Jolly.
So Holloman hitting for Kolodny here. Holloman pitched an inning in 2/3 against the Rams the last time these two teams met.
Allen working from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Strike on the outside corner, a fastball and a beauty. No balls and 1 strike. Chris Middlebrooks a little trouble handling that one as it dropped out of his glove, but fortunately the runner not able to advance. Runner on first, nobody out. Luke Allen ready. Here's the old runner going. Pitch, it bunted, and it's a beauty. Allen will have 1 play, and that'll be first base. And he's out. Runner going to third. Here's the throw. He is safe! Going the entire way, the runner on the bunt run. Just in ahead of the tag at third base. Stephen Hires with a perfect throw down to Doyle Baker, but the runner just in ahead of it. So a 2-base sacrifice.
Unusual play, but that's aggressive baseball, and Glenn George likes to play aggressive baseball for this Shiloh team. And by the time Holloman had bunted that ball up the third baseline, as soon as he bunted it, George was telling the runner to come to third base. So immediately he was having that runner come over to third.
Eric Mathis steps to the plate now, and he hits one right back the middle, and it just off. It may have hit Luke Allen. That's a base hit, and we've got the score is now tied.
We'll check Allen to see if he's okay. He fell face first because that ball was right at the feet and kicked his balance out from under him, and the umpires are going to check on him here for just a moment. He's shaking his head, which should tell you that he's okay. Of course, For Allen, it was just one of those unfortunate things. The ball was hit right back at him, and I think that may have hit the pitcher's mound. If it did hit him, might have hit him in the foot, but he's showing no signs of pain out there.
It did hit him, like you said. It appeared to have just perhaps grazed off him. Tough break if he's in a little better position come after pitching. He feels that and keeps the run from scoring, but now fourth inning, score tied, 5-5. Another throw over to first, and the runner once again back to back. Chilly Parents Field. Here's the pitch, runner going, pitch low and outside, throw, he is out! Perfect throw from Chris Middlebrooks, he gunned him, and perhaps now that might slow the running down a little bit, as it backfired several times on the Rams, it just backfired there. Tough pitch by Middlebrooks to handle, but what a job.
Perfect throw, right on line, 2-4. Runner is caught stealing, so 2 down, and the inning changes greatly here.
Next pitch all the way back to the backstop, so good thing the runner was out at second base.
As I said, the inning takes on a much different complexion when you've retired that runner for what'll be the second out, of course. With 2 outs, the hitter has to go to a different philosophy, trying to get the base hits. He can't concentrate so much on driving the ball, just concentrating more so on making contact. Plus, of course, you take runners off the bases, so a single or a double doesn't score a run anymore.
Here's the 2-0. A little bit high and away, 3-0. Once again, Luke continuing to struggle, just working behind in the count. He's not as an effective a pitcher. Here's the 3-0, the cripple pitch, strike right down central. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch, pops it up, a mile high. Stephen Hires calls for it, struggles underneath it, and some manages to squeeze it for the out. However, the Shiloh Generals come up with 1 run. They did so on 2 hits and left nobody on base, and the Rams committed no errors. We head now to the top of the 5th inning. Your score is 5-5. You're listening to exciting Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430. That's made possible by the fine folks down at East Metro Communications.
At Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies, we've got you covered with vinyl, wallpaper, carpet, wood, parquet, VCT tile, interior design service, carpet cleaning service, and blinds. They're the largest and most complete carpet store serving Newton, Rockdale, and Morgan counties, Lake Oconee, and surrounding areas. They specialize in residential and commercial flooring. Their professional carpet consultants and interior designer will bring samples to your home, take measurements, and quote you a price all in one visit. Call them, Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies, 786-9245, 786-9245, or in Madison, 342-3869, 342-3869. Hardy's Floor Covering and Supplies.
Did you know that termites cause more damage to homes annually than fires, floods, and natural disasters combined? To protect your home from termites and other pests, call Cleary Exterminating, 786-4937. They'll send them packing. Termites and beetles, fleas, rats and mice, roaches and ants. Commercial or residential, we can help get rid of what bugs you. Call Cleary Exterminating on Highway 278 in Covington, 786-4937. At Cleary Exterminating, we make mouse calls.
Tradition and excellence since 1946. That's WGFS, AM 1430, Covington.
They're back from Springfield at Shiloh High School, somewhere in the vicinity of Centerville, Georgia. Lithonia, Georgia is the official mailing address of Shiloh High School, so take your pick. We're in Gwinnett County. How about that? 5-5 as we head to the 5th. Bill Dolan brings you our play-by-play action.
And thank you very much, Kevin Holden. Lane Floyd to lead it off. He'll be followed by Doyle Baker and then Jarvis Johnson in the top of the 5th. A lot of 5s up there, 5-5 to score in the 5th. See if the Rams can change their 5 to some bigger numbers.
And number 5, Lane Floyd, will hope to start that out.
Here's the first pitch to Lane, down low for a ball. Floyd perfect on the day with 2 bases on balls and 2 caught stealing. Or check that, he reached on a fielder's choice second. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Bringing a miss to the fastball. That evens the count at 1-1.
Lane Floyd has a very compact, very quick swing. And there have been a couple of places where it's benefited him, Winder and Parkview specifically, where shorter fields have produced some home runs.
Here comes the 1-1 Floyd, swinging, drilled into right field. There's a base hit. Oh, and the right fielder, Holden, almost fooled by that ball. Showed a little snow cone as it bounced up into the top of the web, almost getting by. But like you were talking about, a short, compact swing, Kevin, he really turned on it, drilled it hard into the right field.
He's certainly got a good swing just for solid line drive base hits. He's not going to be the type that's going to be the big home run hitter, but he is crucial to this Ram lineup, and this 5-game hitting streak that he's on now has helped the Rams.
Doyle Baker up next, takes the pitch high for a ball. Doyle with a base hit his first time up, and then struck out his second time.
Snapped the 2 for 14 slump with that.
Make that a fly out. I'm having trouble reading your scorebook, Kevin. Your hands slide out deep to center field. And there's a pop up into medium deep center field. The center fielder underneath it and squeezes it for the out.
Yes, the scorebook becomes that much more difficult to read when your fingers go numb, and that happened, about the second inning, I guess? We're writing as best we can, and I emphasize as best we can. I would not put it past any decoders anywhere to read this. This would be a job for linguistics departments everywhere.
And Jarvis Johnson stepped up and played. Jarvis is the one that struck out his last time at bat.
Yes.
And had a base hit his first time also. Here's the pitch to Jarvis. Going to the inside corner, a fastball, knee high.
Left-handers have enough trouble writing. The cold weather certainly doesn't help it.
Lane Floyd with a short lead at first. Here's the 0-1 to Jarvis. Oh, there's a looper down the left field line. That ball will drop harmlessly foul and out of play. I don't think we'll see Lane going this time. He's had kind of a rough day on the base pass. 0 for 2 in the stolen base department.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Floyd will be staying put at first base, but one thing that I'm sure that the coaches have talked to him about is keeping the aggressive nature, because sometimes when you're thrown out once or twice, then you have a tendency to be too conservative and get thrown out on plays you shouldn't be.
He's going, the pitch, the throw, and it's a terrible throw, but so just as we said he wouldn't be going, he's still second base.
Joe Brassfield is the third base coach. You and I are sitting right here calling the game, and we both saw that differently, and I guess it helps to establish some confidence for Floyd. Of course, with a tie score, you've got to get that man into scoring position however you can do it, and with an 0-2 pitch, Andy Mitchell went with the off-speed, so a good pitch to steal.
Here's the 1-2 to Jarvis. A little dribbler. This could be trouble. Here's the pick up the throw. He's safe! And the speed, once again, enabling Jarvis Johnson to beat it out for his second hit of the ball game. Rams on the corners.
That ball wasn't hit probably 90 feet, maybe more, maybe just a little bit more, but it was just at the right speed where Johnson literally was outrunning the ball down the first baseline, and that's how he got to be safe at first. That speed in the number 9 spot helps you out, because with the leadoff man on, now you've got speed at first base, and you have a feeling you might see him take off in the near future here to help extend the Rams' lead if one of those can get a base hit. Now, there's not so much speed at third base, but you're not too concerned about that. And Glenn George has called time, and Bill Heehan is infield.
I think he's used all his timeouts.
If baseball went on the timeout system, Shiloh, by about the third inning of every game, I think would use up all of them.
Certainly likes to take advantage of his appearances to the mound.
Not to use a pun here, but he likes to try to ice the Newton Rams. And in this weather, that's not hard to do.
Well, this is actually not a bad time. It's a pretty good ploy, because the Rams have a little momentum going. At Easter Day, the leadoff hitter up the plate. And the runners have to stand there in the cold and chill a little bit. Jarvis Johnson with good speed down at first. Will the Rams be running?
I have a feeling, like we mentioned before, that you probably will see Johnson go, perhaps even on the first pitch of the count, to try to get something started. Remember, we only have one out here, and Easter Day has been perfect. Now, he has only one base hit, but he reached on an error his first time and walked his second time. So you've got a strong hitter up there, and you can make things happen. A strong hitter literally opens up the base paths for you. Johnson can go to second base, and he'll probably be safe there. They'll be without a throw, and then a hit from Easter Day could drive in too.
And Matt Easter has been one of the hottest hitters on the team lately, really turning it around. Johnson with a short lead at first. Mitchell steps off, down back.
You mentioned streaks. Easterday is hitting .500 in his last 14 at-bats, 7 hits in those.
Here's the first pitch to Matt, and he pops his foul right back over the top. He's down in the count now, no balls and 1 strike. Rams tied at 5-5 in the 5th. Kind of a surprise to us, Kevin, but they're still battling. Chance to break it open here. No balls and 1 strike to count to Easterday. Jarvis Johnson with a lead at first. Mitchell from the belt. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball up right underneath Matt's chin as he steps out of the way. 1-1.
2 years ago here at Shiloh, an interesting game that helped the Rams gain some momentum in their 8-quad-A quest for the championship in the region. Played a good game up here against Shiloh, winning it, and they took that momentum literally all the way into the playoffs.
Easterday fouls another one. Same place right behind us. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 out here in top of the 5th inning. Runners at the corner.
If the Rams can take the lead and hold on here, it could help give them, again, great momentum. They will have won 2 straight once again, starting a winning streak in the sub-region. They'll have Winder on Friday.
Here's the pitch to Easterday. Swing, and he fouls another one out of play. Once again, one of the Ram batters doing a good job of battling. Last time we saw a hitter battle this hard, Chris Middlebrooks worked from a 1-2 count all the way to a base on balls.
And with what Easterday is doing here, there's a lot about him as a hitter because he's fouling off some off-speed pitches. And this pitcher's been throwing a lot of fastballs, but changing it up against Easterday, but he's not fooled.
Here comes the 1-2. The runner is going. Pitches in the dirt. Fake throw, and just like we called it, Jarvis in with a stolen base. They wouldn't have thrown him out no matter what they did, so you knew they weren't going to throw down there. But that evens the count now, and with 2 runners in scoring position, and once again, I don't think he wants to walk Easterday to get to Ryan Moon. Ryan Moon swinging the hot bat.
Rams have stolen 8 bases so far, Bill, in the first 5 innings of this game.
Here's the 2-2 to Matt. Another one low and down in the dirt, and that runs the count full. So another good at-bat has made the count work for a Ram hitter's advantage. Good job of battling, hitting some tough pitches, staying alive.
Yesterday showing why he is a leadoff man for a team that's ranked in the state of Georgia.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper. 1 run will score, and the shortstop boots it again. Easterday safe on the air. Credit him with an RBI as that drives in the run. So the Rams retake the lead. Jarvis Johnson down to third base, and Matt Easterday over at first.
Come again with the official scores ruling on that, if you will.
Okay, that's going to be an error on the shortstop, and but you still credit it with an RBI because they would have scored. The run would have scored on the fielder's choice.
So Easterday with another RBI, and we'll enter that as it is in the scorebook now. 6-5 Rams.
Runner going. Moon drills it, and that's in for a base hit. The perfectly executed hit and run. And here's Matt Easterday around to third. And once again, Ryan Moon doing a great job of hitting, Kevin. I looked up just in time to see the vacated hole in second base and the ball trickling through out into right field.
I tell you, there is not a 2-hitter probably anywhere in Quad A that's as good at going to the right side, as picking up base hits to the right side as Ryan Moon. He has done it so many times this year, and on that hit-run play, just placed it perfectly, right between first and second, and so Rams get another run, and Shiloh will have another pitcher here. They've decided that Mitchell's work is over for the day.
And we'll be back and tell you all about it in just a moment. You're listening to Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS, AM 1430, and you know who helps make it possible, Kevin? It's those fine folks at East Metro Communications.
It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Just check out these great prices for all your spring cleaning and gardening. Corona 21-inch head shears or Corona 24-inch bypass lopper, your choice, just $19.96. An Ace spring rake, $7.96. A garden weasel cultivator garden claw, $34.96. An Ace folding pruning saw, just $5.97. Or an Ace bypass lopper, just $19.97. It's spring fever at Mayfield Ace Hardware, your headquarters for spring cleaning and gardening. Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington.
Aside from choosing the right home, it's important to choose the right mortgage loan. At Newton Federal Savings and Loan, we're putting today's low rates together with prompt hometown service in offering special construction loans with one-time closing, conventional and balloon mortgages, and more. And servicing of your loan remains right here, too. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, 3175 Highway 278, Covington. FDIC insured and equal housing lender.
Stay tuned throughout the 1996 baseball season as WGFS brings you coverage of the Atlanta Braves. Join us as the Braves try to capture their second consecutive World Series championship. Atlanta Braves on WGFS, brought to you by the Farm and Garden Depot, Snapping Shoals, Norwest Financial, Rhodes Printing, and Cotton State Insurance. Don't miss the Atlanta Braves 1996 right here on WGFS AM 1430.
Shiloh High School, welcome back. The Newton Rams and the Shiloh Generals. Generals have a new pitcher in Chris Coker. We do not have a new play-by-play announcer. We have our old standby, Bill Dolan.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. And a little chilly here, and actually some chili would taste good now, as cool as it is here. But the pitcher used to be the catcher, and the catcher used to be the designated hitter. So an all-new battery, if you will, so from Rayovac to Everready.
That's right. We're going to switch batteries here. Josh O'Donnell, who was the catcher against the Rams when these two met the last time, comes in to catch here, and Coker goes out to the mound. Now for Andy Mitchell. Mitchell pitched 3 innings total, coming in the second and leaving here in the fifth. He has given up so far, as we take a look on the board, 3 runs here. And we'll see how many of those are earned. Of those 3, I believe both of them, or all 3 of them actually, are earned, because the error Matt Easterday reached on an error by the shortstop, Gabe Kolodny, and that helped to score a run, but of course he would have scored regardless, and the single would have driven in the other run. So all 3 of those are earned. He gave up a total of 4 base hits, walked a couple of batters, struck out a couple of batters, and he's got runners at first and third that belong to him and are his responsibility, and it'll be Coker's responsibility to face Stephen Hires and try to keep the Rams from doing further damage.
Stephen Hires and Luke Allen. Coker working to his first batter. Ram runners still on the corners. Watch for some more base running. Here's Coker's first pitch. Down in the dirt, gets away, and plugs on the run. Fake throw down to third, and for the 10th straight time, it doesn't work. And that is going to be a pass ball there as the catcher had glove on it, let it shrivel through. It may have been what was going to be a delayed steal, but the ball actually got away before Ryan took off, so we can't credit him with the stolen base.
Too bad, because that would have been the 9th stolen base for the Rams here.
But 2 runners in scoring position. Stephen Hires with a 1. The runners are going. It's the squeeze, and they pull it off. And another runner trying to squeeze. Save! A 2-run suicide squeeze. Credit Stephen Hires with 2 RBIs on the play. Ryan Moon ran the entire way from second base, never stopping. They hesitated, looked home, threw to first, and by the time they could throw home, Ryan Moon crossed the plate. A heads-up play by the Rams, and they just forced 4 runs across the plate to take the lead now. 9-5, Newton Rams on top as they try to break it open. Luke Allen steps to the plate now with 2 outs. Could see the squeeze coming, and Stephen laid it down perfectly. Here's the pitch down low for a ball.
You don't think that won't do a tremendous amount for Stephen Hires, who came into that at bat 0 for his last 13, but gets 2 RBIs on the squeeze? I have a feeling that young man's confidence will begin to be restored with that play.
Another pitch to Luke, down low. And a tough pitch to bunt. You see where that pitch was? It was up in his eyes. But with the suicide squeeze on, he had to get the ball down, did a great job. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-run suicide squeeze before.
That was a tremendous play, and the reason it happened was because Ryan Moon never stopped, and that's Ryan Moon. Absolutely the ultimate competitor, hustles every play.
Here's the pitch to Luke. It's the crippled pitch right down central. 3-1 the count now. Luke's got to be feeling a little better. He's got a 4-run lead again for the second time in this game. Here comes the 3-1. Down low for a ball, so the Rams putting runners on base again. That'll bring Chris Middlebrook to the plate. Chris on the day had a sacrifice bunt, reached on a fielder's choice, and also had a base on ball, so he's been on base twice and a sacrifice.
And of course, that base on balls that he got in the fourth was probably the most impressive single at bat that any Ram hitter has had this year in terms of fouling off pitches, coaxing things from the pitcher. Middlebrooks did a great job there.
Certainly did. Chris Coker working to Middlebrooks. Luke Allen with his lead down at first. Here's the pitch. There's the strike called. Breaking ball caught the outside corner about waist high. No balls and one strike.
This is the eighth man to bat for the Rams in this inning, and they sent up 7 in the fourth and 8 in the second, so the hits keep coming for the Rams.
Luke with his lead. Coker brings the next one. Oh, and it hit him right in the back. That one had to hurt a little bit. It was a breaking ball. I don't think there was any intent there. Just didn't curve at all. Chris shakes it off, and Chris Middlebrooks is a hard, tough guy. He'll take one for the team.
And he'll get a chance to sting while sitting on the dugout, or sitting on the bench in the dugout, because just as he comes in, there's a pinch runner for him at first base, as there is just about every time he reaches first base. Matt Vaughn is in the pinch run.
And Chris Coker has yet to get a breaking ball over, having a little problem. And up to the dish steps Richie Cleary, looking for a fastball. And there's a 58-foot fastball down in the dirt. 1 ball, no strike. Not often you see a fastball bounce that far out in front of the plate. We've seen a lot of curveballs that haven't made it, but 1-0 the count. Big Richie Cleary to the plate. Runners at first and second. Rams up by 4. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball dubbed down the first base line and foul.
The reason why Richie Cleary didn't hit that ball very hard was because at the last second, he was opening up just a little bit on the ball, and at the very last split second, pulled his head out away from the pitch, and that allowed it just enough room for it to hit off the end of the bat. If he had kept his head down an extra split second, probably have 2 RBIs.
Here's the next one. That's down in the dirt. Good scoop by catcher O'Donnell. 2-1 the count to Big Rich. 2 out, 2 on. We're in the top of the 5th. Rams up by 4. Coker brings the next one way high over top of his head. That makes the count now 3-1.
Lane Floyd, who started this inning with a single, is now in the on-deck circle with a chance to hit again.
Allen leads from second. Here's the pitch. All 4, and Richie coaxes a walk. And the bases are jammed, and the 10th man to hit for the Rams comes up to the plate. Chance for the Rams to really break it open if Lane could hang in there and drill something.
Well, it's no doubt that Coker has had trouble with his control. He's faced 4 batters so far. The first one, the suicide squeeze, and did it on a pitch that was in his eyes out of the strike zone. After that, 2 walks and a man hit by a pitch.
Lane Floyd. Here's the pitch. Almost by the catcher. We'd settle for one back to the backstop, wouldn't we?
That would pick up an extra run and put the Rams in double figures here. I'll tell you this, Bill. The Shiloh Generals, if they were to have the Newton Rams pitching staff, I think would be a formidable team. It's the pitching that has given them trouble all year.
Here's the 1-0 to Lane, and he fouls it back and out of play.
Especially the relief pitching. The Shiloh Generals, believe it or not, folks, were leading the Parkview Panthers by a couple of runs in the 6th inning a few days ago. It was the bullpen for the Generals that blew the game and gave Parkview the win.
1-1 the count now to Floyd. Chris Coker working here, struggling. Richie Cleary off first. Chris Middlebrooks, or actually Matt Vaughn, off second. Here's the pitch, and the ball's drilled to deep center field. On the run, and that ball is up against the wall. 1 run will score. Here's another man scoring. Here comes Big Richie, and he'll score on the bases clearing double by Lane Floyd.
Floyd has a 5-game hitting streak, Bill, and the 4-game streak that he had coming into this was in jeopardy, but this inning took care of it with a double dip, a single and a double in this inning, and he has scored a run and driven in 2 in this inning and had 2 base hits, so a productive inning for Lane Floyd, and the Rams now with a 7-run lead. And again, we were mentioning the relief pitching of the Shiloh Generals that has given them the trouble, and Coker has been throwing pitches outside the strike zone, walking 2 men, hitting a man. Finally, he took something off, and Floyd just turned on it.
A little bit of Alphonse and Gaston out in the outfield there between Mathis and Holloman as they kind of looked at each other and struggled and watched the ball drop. But Lane Floyd with 3 ribbies there. Here's the pitch to Doyle Baker. It's down low in the dirt. Floyd back to second.
So 3 more RBI for him on the double. And Lane Floyd won't complain about that. His RBI total and his slugging average have ballooned in the last week and a half. He's hitting the ball very well.
Done a great job. Here's the pitch to Doyle. That's down in the dirt. Uh-oh, he's going to throw, and he is. No, they called him safe. He dropped the ball. The throw beat him. I just called him out as
because you saw it that way, as I think all of us down here in the third base side did, because the throw beat him and the tag was also there. The tag beat him to the bag. Only trouble was, that's for a baseball in that club.
He forgot the ball. Yeah, Coach Brassfield was signaling safe, so. And here's the next pitch to Doyle, and that's ball 3.
Now the question on that play, since the third baseman dropped the ball, Lane was attempting the stolen base there. Is it an error in the scorebook or a stolen base?
3-0, ball 4. Well, the umpire never actually called him out and then safe. So normally in that case you credit the stolen base, because it was all one motion where he never actually had it. That's how I've heard it explained in the official scoring. If the umpire were to have started to call him out and then switched it to safe, then you would normally go ahead and call it an error.
So Lane Floyd benefits from a decisive umpire, which is a good thing. And the Shiloh Generals have called another conference, and Coker faces 6 batters. The only one that he got out was Hires on a 2 RBI sacrifice suicide squeeze, 3 walks, a hit by pitch, and a double later. Shiloh goes to their 4th pitcher.
And we'll be back to tell everybody about it in just a moment. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS, AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications.
Did you know that termites cause more damage to homes annually than fires, floods, and natural disasters combined? To protect your home from termites and other pests, call Cleary Exterminating, 786-4937. They'll send them packing. Termites and beetles, fleas, rats and mice, roaches and ants. Commercial or residential, we can help get rid of what bugs you. Call Cleary Exterminating on Highway 278 in Covington, 786-4937. At Cleary Exterminating, we make mouse calls.
The best money manager around is a checking account from the Bank of Covington. It's easy to keep track of your income and all your expenses with your checkbook and the detailed monthly statements we send you. It lets you see where you might save money, and it really helps in balancing your budget. If you're not already enjoying such financial assistance, learn all the advantages of a personal checking account at one of the convenient Bank of Covington locations. The Bank of Covington, member FDIC.
And welcome back to Terrence Field at Shiloh High School. The 12th man to hit for the Rams in this inning is Jarvis Johnson. He'll be facing left-hander Eric Mathis. And to bring you the play-by-play, here's Bill Dolan.
Up a little more and a couple more runs and take a 10-run lead. Maybe this game could end a little early.
We could see the 10-run rule. Of course, in 8 Quad A South games, if you lead by 10 runs or more after 5 innings, the game is called. Right now, the Rams up 12-5. Remember, Bill, that this has been done with 2 outs. The suicide squeeze, of course, was the second out, scoring 2 runs, then a walk, a man hit by a pitch, another walk. All 3 of those came around to score the 2-out double from Floyd. Then he stole third, and then the walk to Doyle Baker, and that brings in Eric Mathis. And so the Rams now, with 2 outs, have sent 5 straight men up there, and they've all reached. And the lights have come on here at Parents Field, and the sun continues to set, making it even that much colder.
They're giving Mathis plenty of time to warm up. I guess with the cooler weather, they're a little more lenient. Instead of the 8-pitch rule, they go ahead and give him more pitch. Rams trying to break it open. As we talked earlier, it's hard to figure how this game was as close as it was. Rams blew several chances, and then finally, in this inning, they've really come around, scoring 7 times. Jarvis Johnson, the on-deck hitter. Of course, unfortunately for him, he'll have to face southpaw.
Ben George saw that he was coming up and trying to put an end to this rally by the Rams, this 2-out rally, and so Mathis may only be in there to get one man, because you mentioned that there was an injury to him earlier on that he was complaining of, saying he could pitch but was still a little hurt.
That was a little problem with his back, supposedly. He said the coach asked if his arm was all right. He said his arm was fine, but that he was having a little problem with his back.
That being the case, watch him on certain pitches. He might miss high with several pitches, because if you have back problems, sometimes you won't follow through. And Johnson could get a pitch to drive about waist high.
Doyle Baker leads off first. Lane Floyd off third. Here's the first pitch to Jarvis. That ball's blowing away in the dirt. Here comes Floyd. Here's the throw. He is safe. He's underneath it. And that now makes the score 13-5. And Lane Floyd suddenly has come to life on the base paths. He's stolen a couple bases and scores on the wild pitch.
We'll call him Maury Wills over the second half of this game, and Cecil Fielder over the first half. How about that? But
now, wait a minute. Big Cecil got his first stolen base of his career last week.
That was tremendous. Cecil Fielder has been in the league 10 years and stole his first career base in the first week of the season. I didn't know about it until a few days ago, Bill.
Baker leads off second. Here's the 1-0 to Johnson, and that's a called strike, and Jarvis shaking his head.
But Floyd staying alert on the base path. That's how he was able to score there, watching it all the way, and as that one bounced away, the first pitch with Coker back behind the plate.
Here's the next one, and that's a strike call.
Tough job to ask of a catcher, to go out and pitch to some batters and then have such a shaky outing and then send him right back behind the plate and expect him to have the confidence to handle the pitcher.
Here's the 1-2 to Jarvis. Checks the swing, and it's a little bit high for a strike. Well, you have to wonder how capable he'd be at throwing down to second after going, facing some batters and pitching, throwing the 6-foot, 6-inch distance instead of all the way down to second. Breaking ball, just a little bit low and away, and some hoots and hollers from the general side. The count is now full. 3-2 the count. 2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Rams up by a snowman. Here's the pitch. All 4, and Jarvis strolls down with a base on balls. Back around to the top of the order, and Matt Easterday.
Rams have sent up 6 straight men here with 2 outs, and all of whom have reached 4 walks and a hit by pitch. So Rams haven't exactly had to swing the bat, Bill. They've been the beneficiaries of several free passes from the Shiloh General.
And speaking of the snowman, Matt Easterday, number 8 himself, steps up to the dish. Matt having a good day as he has, reaching every time, I believe. Runners breaking ball, there's a called strike.
2 times on the air, once on a single, once on a walk, from interpreter Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much. No balls and 1 strike. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch to Easterday. Way outside. 1-1 the count. Doyle Baker at second and Jarvis Johnson at first. Matt Easterday, the leadoff hitter for the Rams. Mathis brings it, swing, and he pops it up. That ball a mile high. Second baseman moves in behind it, and snow cones that one. But that'll do it for the Rams in this inning. They come up with 8 runs on only 4 base hits, and there was a multitude of errors. Was it just 1 error?
Yeah, just the error from the shortstop. That just happened to open a bunch of things up. The walks were the key there. There were 4 walks, a man hit by a pitch. There were 4 base hits, and 2 men left on base. So till the Rams have left 9 through the 5 innings here. But they have the lead 13-5, and that's a fortunate thing for Newton to have that 5th inning. I think it will help to kind of bust this thing open, but I have a feeling the Rams would not have minded scoring a few more and going home a little early here.
Well, they're having fun again now, and it's nice to see the scoreboard open up. You always hate to be in a real tight game, a game that you feel you should win. That's like the Berkmore game. The whole game we didn't feel good about it, and for some reason the Rams never did turn it on. Fortunately, this game they did come open and really start hitting the ball. Kind of a key play in that inning, though, had to be that suicide squeeze by Stephen Hires. That ball up in his eyes, the toughest pitch in baseball to bunt. And on the suicide squeeze, you got one job and one job only. You have to make contact. You have to get the ball down. The ball was bunted rather hard and out to the pitcher, but on the perfect suicide squeeze, that you're not going to throw them out at the plate because the runner's already coming.
With second and third, they weren't paying much attention to Moon at second base. That allows him to get 2 or 3 extra steps down toward third base, and he was right on the heels of the runner at third base, Matt Easterday, as they were both rounding on the sacrifice, and that's how the suicide turned into 2 runs. Actually, it turned into a lot more, 4 more runs after that. So as we head to the bottom of the 5th, Bill, and the Rams lead here by 8, Luke Allen will continue, and he'll have a big lead here to work with in the middle of the Shiloh order.
All right, the first person up to bat is William Healy. He walked his first time and had a base hit his second time up. Luke looking in. Here's the first pitch, and it's a fastball back to the backstop. Luke Allen once again struggling with that fastball. Of course, he probably had a 30-minute last inning to sit down, and it's pretty tough to stay loose on a cool day like this, Kevin.
And he was on base, too, for quite a while because he was on base when they were walking batters and hitting batters and that sort of thing. So it's been a while out there.
Strike, a fastball. That one much better. Caught the knees on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. And working quickly. Here it comes. Breaking ball. Just fails to come in over the inside corner. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1. And there's a ground ball out the plug. He's up, boots it, hangs on, throws, got him. Steady as she goes. Ryan Moon almost let that one get away, but he hung on and made a good throw. So quickly, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Could have been his first error of the year. He came up with the ball cleanly, but it was the transfer to his throwing hand where the ball jumped up in the air for just a second, but wasn't enough as Healy was out 4-3.
Fortunately, it bounced back into his glove as Russell Brown was hit by a pitch.
That pitch sailing inside. And Allen throws a lot of fastballs that tail to what would be the inside part to a left-hander, and that's what happens there. And Joe Brassfield has a look of mild disgust on his face because that's something you don't want to try to do with an 8-run lead in the 5th, and Glenn George will come out to see if Brown is okay.
That appeared to hit him up in the bicep area of his right arm. Those kind of sting a little bit, particularly on a day like today. It's going to sting, but really not going to do any damage up there. It's not going to hurt any. But of course, Coach George is out of timeout, so he has to use one of his injury timeouts here so he can come out and field.
With the radio folks here, he's got a radio timeout or 2, and he's going to burn one of those here.
You'd think this was a TV game as often as he comes out on the field, wouldn't he?
I think so. The unfortunate thing, Bill, if you're looking forward to the 6th and the 7th, Shiloh's already on their 4th pitcher. They're having trouble throwing strikes, and they've got a man in who was playing in center field and who has a back injury who's going to be playing against the Rams starting in the 6th, and in the 7th they're going to be pitching against them in those 2 innings. And this one might go a lot longer. We're already 2 hours, 10 minutes into this affair, and we're only in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out, and if those pitchers continue to throw pitches out of the strike zone, we could be here a long time tonight.
And it's not going to get any warmer either.
No, it only gets colder here, and the sun is about to go down completely just off to our left here, behind the backstop.
Mark Lordy steps up, swinging that ball fouled back to the backstop. Oh, and it's stuck in the screen for a minute right in front of it. Middlebrooks hustles back to pick up the foul ball.
Got about a mile back here between home plate and the walk back here, so Middlebrooks will have his exercise before the day is out.
No balls and 1 strike. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Luke working quickly, brings it just a little bit outside. Some of the Newton fans who howled on that one thought it was close. 1-1 with 1 out. Runner with a very short lead at first. Here's the pitch. Just a little bit low. 2-1 the count. Coach Brassfield, as you said, showing us some signs of disgust down there, not wanting any more base runners on. 2-1. Allen brings it, swinging a shot to right field. Cleary up on 1 hop, brings it in, and cut off. Almost a force play at second base there. Richie came up gunning. I think he was trying to throw him out at second base.
That's exactly what he was trying to do, and Russell Brown didn't exactly hustle between first and second. We thought for just a moment that we might see a force play, and Glenn George is talking with the home plate umpire, but it's Joe Brassfield who has called his timeout, and he's got plenty to burn. And Luke Allen comes out of the game here, and the Rams are going to have a little shift as they bring in Jason Lunsford and have some position switches here. Lunsford is coming from left field back to the dugout to grab a mitt.
No, I think Jason's actually coming out of the game. Matt Easterday is going to come in and pitch. Matt Vaughn is going to play shortstop. Jarvis Johnson has moved over to left field, and Luke Allen goes out to center field.
So Allen goes 4 to third innings, facing a total of 23 batters. He has given up 5 runs. All 5 of those were earned, and 2 runners on his responsibility. Given up 6 hits. Allen has walked 3 batters and so far struck out 4. And so Easterday will get a chance to come in and do his work here with 1 out in the 5th. He came in with 1 out in the 5th against Rockdale in a very similar situation. After a 3-run homer, gave it a very similar score. I think the Rams won that 13-6. Here they're up 13-5.
And as they say, Luke Allen can only be the winner. He cannot be the loser. And maybe a little bit of poetic justice. Luke didn't pitch well today, but he's going to end up winning the game, where some of those other games where he gives up no earned runs, he ends up with a loss.
He's been the benefit of some definitely hard luck, pardon the pun. In the first 2/3 of this season, the game at Fayette County where he had given up the runs, and only one of those was earned, and the Rams lost 7. They lost 7-2 in that game. They would have won that game 2-1 if none of the unearned runs had come across. And then, of course, the game at Troup County where the Rams lost that one 2-0, couldn't give him any support, and he gave up 2 unearned runs but came out with the loss, and, of course, he didn't deserve it there. That Easterday will come in and try to help preserve the win here, and the Ram offense in the top half of the 5th will, of course, go a big way toward preserving a victory, but Easterday is taking his warm-up tosses. As he does, we'll let you know that Easterday is no record this year. 1 save, that was the Rockdale game, a 1.62 ERA. In 8 2/3 innings, he has given up only 3 hits. He's walked 6 and struck out 11, but stayed away from the hits and given up only 2 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings. And the ERA is good for 3rd on this Newton Rams staff.
And based upon the official Newton County decision, this is a save situation for Matt East.
Well, it's the same situation as we had against Rockdale. Coming in with 1 out in the 5th inning, he will need to pitch 2 2/3 innings here. And our ruling is this: a high school game goes 7 innings. In the major leagues, which is a 9-inning game, if a pitcher pitches 3 innings and pitches effectively, he'll pick up a save. And if Easterday can pitch 2 2/3, he'll pick up a save, because obviously if you prorate it to a 7-inning game, 2 2/3 would be enough to pick up the save under that rule. So, Bill, that's what we have. Matt Easterday will be involved. If he can pitch effectively in a save situation, he'll need to, 1, finish the game, and 2, make sure that Shiloh doesn't make a game out of this.
That's right. This actually becomes kind of a judgment call. And like you say, if he comes in and gives up a couple, 3 or 4 runs, then that's really not considered pitching effectively, so we can then make a judgment whether he earns the save. That's one of the few times where you really have ability to actually make a decision. And it's a fair decision that we came up with, and that was decided among all the local journalists covering Ram.
Local media experts having decided that against Rockdale, the same applies here, so we apply the rule.
And Coach Brassfield even agreed with us on that. He thought it was a fair decision. Well, Matt Easterday is ready to go to work. Here's his first offering. Breaking ball and a beauty for a called strike to Josh O'Donnell. O'Donnell is now playing where? Here's Matt's pitch. Swing and foul right back here, and Easterday quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Bill, I think we have our center fielder that had been missing from the previous lineup.
Evidently it must be, because he had done the DH, and once he came into the game as a catcher, he could not stay the DH, then choose the DH. So he must be playing center field. Here's the 0-2, just off the outside corner. Good pitch at 0-2.
Few inches off the outside corner. Easterday with good location to start out here.
1-2 to count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Sit down. You're out of there. He snapped it off, and 2 outs now.
Easterday, you've got to give that young man a lot of credit, because he's coming in under very cold circumstances, having to warm up from a shortstop position to come into the game to pitch and strikes out the first man he faces on a curveball. That's a great job from Easterday.
One of the better-looking curveballs we've seen all day. He really snapped it off. And that's going to bring Chris Bader to the plate. Here's a pitch. Just a little bit high. Good-looking pitch from Matt Easterday. Matt's done a very effective job when we've seen him come in and pitch. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down in the dirt. Good stop by Chris Middlebrook. He really dove over and blocked it. Almost looked like a goaltender there getting down in front of him.
You really have to have that mentality as a catcher. Even with an 8-run lead, you have to have a goaltender mentality. That ball can't get past you, no matter what you have to throw in front of it to keep it from going past you. That's legal. You've got to be sure it stays in front.
Well, particularly here with as much room in foul territory, that could score a run. Gets away from him. Here's the 2-0 from Matt. Strike! A fastball on the corner. And Easterday gets back into the count now at 2-1. Runners lead away from their respective bases. Easterday works from the belt. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball and a beauty as he caught the outside corner. The deuces are now wild. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Bottom of the 5th inning. Easterday trying to work out of a jam. Here's the pitch. Just wide with the curveball. And Bader managed to lay off it. Good-looking pitch from Easterday.
Sharp breaking curveball, a lot like the one that he caught O'Donnell on the last at-bat.
And Easterday steps off, trying to keep the runners from getting that good running start. With the 3-2 count, 2 outs, they'll be off and going. Here's the pitch. Swinging the ball, drilled deep to left center field. Luke Allen on his horse. He won't get it. It's off the wall. 1 run to score. Here's another man rounding third. He'll score. And the throw comes back in, and it's a double for Chris Vader as he drilled it to deep right center field.
Second extra base hit for Vader, and that'll put 2 more runs across. Vader advanced a runner to third his first time with that double down the right field line, but there was nothing cheap about this one. That was drilled to the deepest part of the park, and in fact, if you were playing at a place like a Riverside Park or other places in the region, you might have seen that ball leave the yard. It's 385 to center, and that's what kept it in.
That ball was really tagged. Now that'll close the book on Luke Allen. Both of those runs charged to Luke. And there's a bunt, and it's a beauty. Easterday up quickly, falls, and unable to make a play. So a base hit for Chris Coker, and that's not the first time we've seen a pitcher come over and field. Luke did that earlier on a play. There must be a real slick spot right there. When he first fielded it, he had a chance to throw him out at first, but he went down and sat on his wallet and was unable to get a throw off.
Slipped and fell right on the wallet, as you mentioned, and that spot where Shiloh's been bunting the ball up the third baseline. They've been successful up there, and I wonder if somebody didn't know something ahead of time.
A little home field nurturing or whatever, if you will.
Well, of course, it wouldn't be the first time in baseball that that's happened. You see a lot of teams water down base paths to keep base stealers from doing a lot of damage, and that's actually a fairly common thing. It started, I think, in the 60s in the Dodger-Giant rivalry when Maury Wills was so fast. We keep making Maury Wills mentions on the broadcast today, but it's something that happens a little more often now, and perhaps this is along the same line.
And Dowley comes back in as the courtesy runner for Coker, and Matt Holloman does pitch. First and third. Easterday brings the curveball. Just a little bit high for the ball. 1-0 the count. So after getting the strikeout, and Matt's given up 2 hits, and General's threat. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swinging the ball. Drilled to right center field again. Ritchie going back, turns, and he makes the play. And that another scary one is Ritchie got turned around. That wind blowing evidently blowing a little bit out there, but that ball not exactly a pop fly as Ritchie went back and turned and came up with it. But the Generals come up with 2 more runs. They did so on 3 hits and left 2 runners on base. We're heading out to the top of the 6th inning to score 13-7. Rams still up by 6, but it's never a dull moment.
We want to thank the folks at East Metro Communications. They helped to bring us the games, Bill, and throughout the the past several years, when we've gone on the road, East Metro Communications has been able to furnish us equipment so that we've been able to do live play-by-play of the broadcast. And really, we can't say enough about them and the job that they have done over the past several years. You know, a lot of folks can't make the road trips. There are people who can't come up here, who can't come to Brookwood or to Athens or Winder or wherever the Rams might be playing on the road. But, of course, we're there, and East Metro Communications makes it possible for us to bring you the story from wherever there may be.
And we certainly do appreciate the fine support we get from them. And like you said, otherwise, you and I'd be sitting at home and wouldn't even be watching the Rams here.
No, either that or we would be here and unable to bring you any kind of reports of the way the Rams were performing on the road. But Joe and Tom and Brenda and Bert, Sean, everybody at East Metro have been tremendous, and they've done a tremendous job for us, and we want to thank them for what they've been able to do. We're looking down the third baseline, Bill, and we saw Josh O'Donnell warm up the pitcher. It's interesting that O'Donnell hit last inning because he was brought in as a catcher from his DH position, which means if he hit, he had to have stayed in the game because he was brought in as a catcher, but then he was removed later when Chris Coker came back in to catch. And we don't see O'Donnell playing a position. He's going back to the dugout. And so, kind of wonder about that.
It's kind of confusing me. Normally, once the DH becomes a position player, you lose the DH. If he's not playing, how can he still be DH? Something is amok.
I don't know if it has something to do with re-entering a player into the game. Perhaps Glenn George is saying that you can re-enter him into the game and make him the DH again, but that doesn't seem that would restore that rule.
No, I don't think you can as the DH. Anyway, Eric Mathis is the pitcher for the Shiloh Generals, and he'll face Ryan Moon to lead it off. Mathis, the left-hander, appears to have some of the better stuff of anybody we've seen, and Moon with a little bunt in and just squirts foul. Had the third baseman back and had the right thing going, but he couldn't find that slippery spot out there.
No, bunted the ball a little to the left of that slippery spot as that one was foul, but not a bad idea, as Shiloh's third baseman Mark Lordo was way back and he hasn't come in at all, so might see Moon even try this again.
Still way off the line, too, for late in the ball. Here's the pitch to Moon. That's down low for a ball. Of course, Moon has gone the other way every at-bat, and they're really cheating him around that way now. Look. 1-1 the count. Mathis brings it to Moon. Breaking ball way high.
They're giving him almost everything down the left field side. The left fielder cheating toward left center. The center fielder is many, many steps toward right center, probably a dozen steps that way, and the right fielder in his normal position. In the infield, they're even cheating him a few steps that way.
Shortstop almost behind second base. Here's the 2-1. Moon drills it to right field down the line and foul. Once again, trying to find that right field spot. Ryan Moon drilled it, but it just hooked foul. That evens the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan having a great day today.
He is 3 for 4, a double, a pair of singles, and a couple of runs scored to his credit. So he has been a big part of the Rams' offensive output here at Shiloh.
2-2 the count to Moon. Mathis brings it home. Just a little bit outside. I don't know how Ryan took that pitch. We've seen a lot of pitches a lot farther outside called strikes than that this year.
Certainly, especially in the 6th inning of 6-run games in cold weather, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and it skies it a mile high. The right fielder heading towards the line. The ball drifts and back towards the middle, and he squeezes it for the out. So once again, Ryan Moon going the other way with the ball, drilling it out there, and Matt Holloman able to make kind of a circus catch of sorts out there.
You can tell the wind's playing tricks with balls out there because Richie Cleary had that same problem on a ball hit that way last inning. Turning left, turning right, circling around, but keeping his eye on the ball to make the play. Very important.
I noticed about 2 innings ago, the junior varsity coach, Stanley Allen, showed up in the house, and gave kind of a thumbs down, so evidently the JV dropped one tonight. Stephen Hires ready, and he takes a pitch up high for a ball. Stephen with a very unusual play, a 2-run suicide squeeze his last at bat. Here's the 1-0. Playing it's foul right back here.
And Hires
into the bushes.
Hires was 0 for 3 before that at bat, for the 2-run sacrifice suicide squeeze, and we'll see if that helps him here. We mentioned that perhaps it may boost the young man's confidence.
1-1 to count. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. That pitch appeared to be just a little bit outside. He went fishing and came up empty.
Mathis with the straight change. The left-hander throw a pretty good straight change, actually, to Hires there, and he was well out in front.
Under the watchful eye of the gentleman behind the plate. And the second baseman boots it. And Stephen will reach safely on a error by the second baseman.
David Platt is the second baseman for the Generals, and the shortstop now for the Generals is Chris Jolly. So more changes for Shiloh. Jolly is in at short, Platt at second base, and Platt has made yet another error. The middle infield for the Shiloh Generals has had a horrendous afternoon. In fact, 6 errors from that General middle infield. Bill, there's been 1 in every inning.
And Luke Allen drills one foul behind the plate.
The first inning, it was Platt on the first batter of the game. Second inning, the shortstop, Gabe Kolodny, dropped the ball. Then Platt again in the third, Kolodny in the fourth and the fifth, and Platt here in the sixth.
0-1 to Allen, down low and in the dirt. That'll even the count at 1-1.
Shiloh has made an error in every inning, of course, with those, and then one more that was made by the catcher. That's 7 errors from the General.
You say most of them on the middle infield. That'll really kill you in a ballgame. Pick-off play, and Stephen Hires dives back in.
Anytime you have 6 errors out of middle infielders, and you're dealing with 3 from the shortstop and 3 from the second baseman, so they've been spreading the wealth around out there.
There's the 1-1. The runner going, swung and drilled to deep left center field. Left fielder going back, and he makes the catch over his head. And Stephen Hires will hustle back, and he's safe. He's almost doubled off. Very kind of lackadaisical getting back there, and the throw almost beats him. The wind really helped on that ball because Luke drilled it, and the left fielder kind of was lost, and at the last minute stuck up his glove and made the catch.
We have a new left fielder also that made that catch, Justin Lawrence, and so Shiloh going to some reserves here, and because of that, he had a little trouble with that. Not used to handling the pop flies out there, and really he reached well behind him to make the play, or else the Rams could have had a great scoring chance here, probably 2 men in scoring position.
And a visit to the field by Mr. George. He wasn't real happy with the call at first base, but it appeared Stevens' foot did just get in ahead of the ball, but that could have been disaster. Chris Middlebrooks, the senior backstop, steps up to the dish. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball and a good one. Down low, and Chris comes up empty. No balls, 1 strike.
Mathis has shown himself to be the most consistent of the 4 pitchers we've seen so far, Bill.
He's done a good job. Appears to throw harder and has a better breaking ball. Snap throw to first. Hires dives back in safely. Rams up by a touchdown. Chris Middlebrooks. Here's the pitch. Strike. Fastball caught the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Big Richie Cleary waves the War Club on deck. Middlebrooks needs to protect the play. Hires with the lead. Here's the pitch. Hires going. The pitch gets away and back to the backstop. So stolen base for Stephen Hires.
He was going on the pitch, so we give him a stolen base, and we're going to have to check and see how many that is for the Rams this game. So
Bill, close to double figures by now.
Yeah, I'm going to make a count here to find out. 9 for the Rams so far. 9 stolen bases.
RBI chance for Middlebrooks. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball breaks in on him. Chris ducks out of the way.
Correction, 10 stolen bases. They have reached double figures.
They've also broken the 13-run pool if they don't score any more runs here.